Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 99 of the ReelTok Podcast. We are joined by some lovely hosts this week. So shout out the Escape Pod. Go check them out. Obviously, Tyler and myself, but today being joined by Alex Hat Guy and Andrew Waffello. And then, of course, Alex Coleman making another guest appearance. He's been on plenty of times. Thank you all for joining. Really appreciate you taking the time out of your day for this. We have a major packed pod for everyone. We'll try to go through as quickly as possible. But this week, major for me, less so major for people like Tyler. But we obviously have Deadpool Wolverine that we're going to talk. There was a lot of Comic-Con news yesterday, some good, some bad, some just downright dumb. And then we have a couple games that Tyler made pending, time and everything. If you guys have it, fantastic. If not, we don't have to worry about it. But then, of course, shout out our executive producers, Stefan Johnson, Stefan Niebrick. We really appreciate y'all and your support. Go check out the Patreon. We appreciate everyone's support. It's the only way we're able to do this week in and week out. So thank you all. Like, subscribe, follow, do all those things. But we'll just get it started right away. Andrew, you are a brand new member or guest appearance on the ReelTok Podcast. I appreciate you coming on. How you been? You guys went to the premiere this week. How was your week? All that sort of thing.
Yeah, the premiere was pretty crazy. Apparently, whenever I travel anywhere, I just get sick, and it's really annoying. So within the last month, I have gone to Florida and back to LA, and then Alabama and back to LA, and then New York and back to LA. And during all that time, I was just like sick. So hopefully I'll get over that soon. But the premiere was definitely worth it. It was 2.5 hours of insanity before the movie, just making content and everything. But I'm glad to be here. I'm happy to talk about the stuff that happened yesterday. It was like we were at a dinner when some of the news dropped, and Alex and I just there was 12 people at the dinner, and we looked at all of them. We were like, sorry, we got to go film something. And we went to my car and just filmed.
I saw that. I saw that from the car. It was a very impromptu episode or TikTok. I liked it. I like seeing it.
We enjoyed the podcast. I'm enjoying the trivia stuff I'm doing, our Patreon and some content we've got coming up. So it's been one of probably the biggest week of the year this past week. So it's been fun.
Yeah, major week for nerd stuff. Alex, this time not Coleman, Hat Guy. How are you? How have you been?
Phenomenal. It's like Andrew said. I'm going to repeat a lot of what Andrew said. It's the busiest week of the year, and I couldn't be happier about it. A lot of good stuff, and in a really great mood. Glad to be on.
Awesome. Glad to hear that. Hopefully that good mood continues. And like I said, go check out the Escape Pod podcast if you have not already. I'm not sure how much of our audience would actually line up, but I'm sure there's a few people at least that have some sort of lineup or overlap, I should say. Alex Coleman, you've been on plenty. The people know you. How are you doing, man?
Lovely. But we have to take this moment and because Mr. Humble over here wouldn't say it, it is indeed Hat Guy's birthday.
No way! Incredible.
We are, happy birthday to that man.
Amazing birthday.
And I'm, as you know, I'm not as high on some of the nerd news that has come out recently. I'm being the designated hater of this episode, I guess. But, like I said before, another day around the earth. I love it. I'm ready.
Which coast are you on right now, Alex?
Oh,
I'm in our house.
Okay.
Well, I'm in their house right now. But it was supposed to be
all three of us are in the same house.
Why do you guys do it from different areas? Just if I may ask.
That's a great question. I mean, Alex and I could have buddied.
You don't have to. I don't want to make you do anything. I was just more so wondering what the play was.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just we have more mics, so
sure.
We
gotta
visualize ourselves.
I was thinking maybe just another bit like we did with the soup.
With
doing all three
is
of
probably
us.
one of my favorite moments on ReelTok Podcast history of just Soups apparently being at your house. That threw me for an absolute loop.
If Coleman says something super stupid, I can just run upstairs.
We'll go beat him up. Yeah,
we'll beat him up.
I'd love that. I'd love to see him get beat up mid-pod. Tyler, how have you been? How's the week been?
Yeah, I've been good. Obviously, huge week for MCU Marvel stuff. I mean, DC had some news in there too, but I feel like it's getting way overshadowed by everything Marvel. So obviously, like I'm not the hugest fan of that kind of stuff, but I'm not here to be a party pooper. I'm here to sit back, learn, listen to what people in the community are thinking about these events and activities. And yeah, no, I'm excited to talk with. It's always great to have Alex Coleman on. I wasn't on the X-Men episode when Hack I was on, but lovely to see both the Escape Pod. I was just talking to Hack Guy before the episode started that I loved the Chris Hansen NFL Red Zone crossover.
That
on
was
the
insane.
Pod episode.
That was crazy.
That was an all-time episode. That was like my two worlds colliding with movies and NFL, and that was a great time. But excited to talk with y'all fellas. We got a lot of fun stuff to do today. I know we don't have you for a ton of time, but for however long we got you, should be a fun show.
Yeah. I my week's been good. I won't run through it. I do want to immediately dive into the Deadpool and Wolverine episode. I will say we did a little bit of podcasting last night for like our Patreon and our real quick stuff, me and Tyler, and I got yelled at by my dad because apparently the neighbors heard me yelling, and then they called the landlord of the place we're renting right now. And yeah, I got mad at my dad. So sorry to my family for that. I am at a different location right now where I can yell and scream as much as I want. But let's get right into it. Deadpool and Wolverine released this week. This is the third installment in the Deadpool trilogy. Obviously, their first entry into the MCU for both Hugh Jackman's Wolverine as well as Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. I'm not going to do a synopsis. It's Deadpool. It's the MCU. It's Wolverine. You know it. We'll talk through it. But let's start off with some spoiler-free thoughts. We'll probably go in just the same exact order. Alex?
Yeah, you said you're not going to do a synopsis because it's Deadpool and we know what's going on. Let's be honest. Could you give a concise synopsis if you tried?
I mean, I could read whatever the BS that like Wikipedia tells me, but no.
Off the cuff, could you say the plot of this movie?
This movie's story is a mess.
I could say the plot of this movie. It's basically just Deadpool's world is crumbling due to Logan, the events of Logan, the Wolverine character, dying. Apparently, he is a canon person. I can't even remember what kind of person he was because Matthew Anchor person. Yeah, Matthew McFadden was just kind of throwing words out at me, and I was like, yeah, sure, that's there. And so that world is collapsing in a couple thousand years, but Matthew McFadden, just cause, wants to kill it now. No motive, just kind of wants to. That's
power.
Yeah.
Doesn't he want to be like the TVA guy? I don't even.
He wants to be like maybe the head of the TVA. I don't. Frankly, I don't know. But Wafello, what are your thoughts? Just non-spoiler, overarching thoughts. We'll run through the movie as well to talk more in-depth stuff.
Sure. So I think I'm pretty sure everyone here will agree that the story here is the movie's messy. You don't get enough backstory on things you need backstory on. Things happen off camera that shouldn't happen off camera. Things are not explained. They're kind of just going all over the place. There are definitive problems with this movie, and big problems. But what I say, and I think I'm the highest on the movie here probably, is because I feel like it needed to nail three things, and the three things that it did need to nail, it nailed. The cameos were insane. The fights, there were a lot of them, and they were really good, and it is funny. So if a Deadpool movie nails comedy, action, and the cameos in this particular instance, I think most people will be happy, and it's good. So that's why I give it like an 8.5. But yeah, I am not here saying that this movie is perfect. And to the TVA like paradox thing, this is another thing that like they never really explained. When he's explaining to Wade, he's like, "Oh, my higher ups said you're really important and that you have like a special purpose."
Just cause.
And then they never explain what that purpose is really, or like what he's supposed to do in the sacred timeline. That's another thing that was just like not explained. So yeah, definite problems, but I had fun with it.
Yeah, no, I'll be about there with you. Alex, Hat Guy, give me your thoughts. Give me your beliefs on this movie.
I am the internet would say I'm a Endgame hater. I wouldn't say that, but I'm lower on Endgame than most MCU fanboys or the classes that I often get put into.
What do you have Endgame like in your Is it at least top 10 like MCU or no? Not even.
No, it's like in the middle of top 20. It's like 15.
That's
16.
crazy. I mean, that's insane. But okay,
No,
continue.
no, it's a mess. And the thing about Endgame is it's a terrible movie. It's a mess, but it is spectacular moments, and the moments carry it from being. It's a fun. It's a.
I just rewatched it. I just rewatched it. I thought I would get the same feeling as that because like I don't know. I like Endgame. I'm stupid.
He's cooking.
I'm
Let
really
him keep
stupid.
cooking. Let him keep cooking.
It's a mess of a movie, but it's got these spectacular, unbelievable moments. Maybe my favorite scene in the entire MCU, the conversation between Howard and Tony Stark in the elevator. The whole MCU, he doesn't like to be handed things. And then as soon as his father says, hey, can you hold this? And he's like, yeah, of course. Like just little things like that. Mm-hmm. As somebody with a complicated relationship with their father, that scene means so much to me. There are moments like that that are just make Endgame make you feel like it's an A+ movie. It's just not. That's how I feel about Deadpool Wolverine, but it's messier and the moments hit less. Like It's like a Endgame light. It's more of a mess. The story is less clear. There is less backstory given to characters that need it and more backstory given to characters that shouldn't. There's more cameos. There's more. It's just more, and all of the things that make it more make it less. I think the fights are less fun. I think the emotional moments don't hit nearly as hard. Yeah. So, and the awesome, amazing let's go moments I don't think are nearly as awesome fuck yeah moments. So yeah, I would say Endgame light. I give it like a 7 out of 10. But that being said, I'm a bit of a nerd. So some of the stuff in there is awesome. And it's pretty hilarious. It's pretty funny.
It's pretty damn funny. I agree with that. Alex Coleman, you hurt me here, man. You really broke my heart with this one.
What did McAvoy say in Days of Future Past? So much pain.
So much pain.
Honestly, I said it before. This is what haters of No Way Home think No Way Home is. I think this is a bit of a mess. I wanted to love it more, obviously. I just felt like we've gotten to a point, maybe with the Deadpool humor, maybe with everything. It's just like, maybe we've overstayed our welcome. Maybe this has become too much of just like a parody of itself to where like we're writing things and we're putting ourselves in corners and we're boxes and we're like, well, shit, we can just say Deadpool's going to say it's exposition, BS, get through it. You're going to be fine. I felt like
that's Deadpool though. That's like,
I know,
if you hated in this, you have to hate it in 1 and 2.
I know, but I feel like the writing was a lot more clever in the first one, and the Fox ones, but that's just me. I also feel like this film was very inconsequential. This film was felt like a good send off to these characters, but no, none of what happens here is a bit of any send off really. Maybe a bit of an appreciation of some characters, but I don't. It also felt like the cameos were just like we're just getting anyone. We're just trying to get any bit of shock factor while the MCU is like this right now. But I will say that intro with NSYNC.
That is awesome.
Generational scene. If it kept up like that, I would have loved it a lot more.
How is the hearing after the Soups fan event, Alex? How's the ears?
Listen, I will say it was just a lovely vibe. Like it's crazy that it was in such an amazing atmosphere, and I still didn't really love it. I was just like, damn. But I just felt like this is just a bit of a mess. I mean, it's like a Loki season 1 episode, and we've already done stuff like this, and it's just like it felt like
Loki season 1's good. It's good.
This isn't though. But yeah, I mean, listen, I still love Wade and Logan, but did I need them again? I don't know. I maybe this came out maybe like 6 years too late. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. I got to rewatch it, but yeah, I'm a bit disappointed. I won't lie. But once again, that intro, I'll be glazing that thing.
It hits. Yeah. All right, Tyler, bring us down.
I think. Again, I just don't think it's for me because I saw everyone universally loving the intro with NSYNC, and I did not care for it or like it whatsoever. So, like, seeing everyone universally love it, that's just me being. I'm not gonna party poo on people's parades. I think that's just a sign that like I'm kind of done with this universe at this point. But I think the big thing is between Deadpool and Deadpool 2, Ryan Reynolds movies, like the only big one is Life in there, which is like a sci-fi horror-y movie. But between Deadpool 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine, we had Free Guy, The Adam Project. 6 Underground, Spirited, Bullet Train. So like all these movies are like him playing the same exact Deadpool character. So I think all those movies being like the same Ryan Reynolds shtick between 2 and this, it just got so played out because I like Deadpool 1 and 2, but I think we've just had so much of like Deadpool light in between 2 and Wolverine, where he's basically just playing that same comedy character, that it's just like tired out at this point for me. But you know, like the cameos I thought were fun. Like I know like a lot of people who are haters of MCU think cameos are lame and lazy, which I mean, sure, some of them are in this, but I still had fun with it. I'm not going to lie. Some of the jokes still worked. I like the end credits send off. That was really cute and fun. But ultimately, it's not like it's by far and away not even close to anywhere near the worst MCU movie I've seen. I thought some of the visuals look pretty good, like pretty solid. Like I know a lot of people are dogging on it, but I think maybe the bar is just so low for MCU with like MODOK and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania and like, you know, the floating kid's face and Thor, Love and Thunder, that I watched this movie. I was like, I don't really have a problem with the way it looks, but yeah, I give it a 2 out of 5. Like, I don't know. I like Deadpool 1. Deadpool 2 is still my favorite. I don't know. I think I posted on Twitter, and I guess it's a hot take to have Deadpool 2 as the favorite one. But yeah, it's just not for me. And but I'm not like a super huge like comic book movie fan in the first place. So I'm way more interested to hear like Alex Hackguy and Alex Coleman's dissenting opinions, because they didn't love the movie as much, but like they love that universe. So I think it's just a more interesting take to hear from it, as opposed to me, where I'm just like, it's just not for me anymore. So I'll sit back and listen.
So real quick, I'm sorry. This is the one thing I came on this podcast to talk about as of yesterday. I saw a tweet from Tyler, who is the only person on the ReelTok podcast that I have not had public beef with. So Tyler, I mean this in the most respectful way possible. What the fuck are you talking about? Deadpool 2, I think Deadpool 2 is one of the worst comic book movies of all time. That isn't one of the bad ones, like a Green Lantern, a Morbius. Like, it's in a higher tier than that, but it's awful. I think it's a 2 out of 10, a 1 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I think it's garbage. I have no idea what you're talking about. I love this. I think the first Deadpool is one of the best comic book movies of all time. I think the first Deadpool is clearly better than any MCU movie ever. Now, I understand Seth, who doesn't like the shtick. If you don't like the shtick, I get it, right? And even I was exhausted of the shtick in Deadpool 2, and the shtick of, oh, look at my penis, I'm putting Pinocchio in somebody's butt. It was too much for me in this movie, and the jokes that hit the hardest for me in Deadpool and Wolverine were not the classic Deadpool shticky jokes. They were the different jokes that I liked. So I would be with you if you were like, oh, I don't like the shtick or whatever. But Deadpool 2 is the clear ugly stepchild of the three. What are the positives for that movie? What are we doing?
This might make you understand a little more. I saw Deadpool 2 in theaters before ever seeing Deadpool 1. Deadpool 2 was my first exposure to Deadpool, and then I watched Deadpool 1.
That's kind of odd.
There it is.
I think
I'm not a big comic book movie guy, so I was never the type to like. I watched Infinity War like a couple weeks before Endgame came out. Like I wasn't seeing these when they were coming out, like everyone else in this pod was. So Deadpool 2, I was in Boston over the summer, saw it with some friends, and I was like, that was fun. Let's watch Deadpool 1. So I gave Deadpool 2 a 3.5, Deadpool 1 a 3, and then all these years later gave a 2 to Deadpool Wolverine. So that might answer my where I'm coming from a little bit.
Yeah, I think I'm not with Alex on or Hat Guy on the it's one of the worst ever, but I do think it's the worst in this trilogy.
It's definitely the worst of the trilogy. Yeah. It's not a 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10 is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy in my opinion. But I can understand.
Deadpool Wolverine and Deadpool 1 are definitely better. Yeah.
I might be the highest I on this movie. I think I'm just stupid. I had a really fun time with this thing, and I think I'm afraid to watch it again because I think it sucks. But I had such a good time at the theater. As I think about this movie, I think it's really, 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 really bad. But I had so much fun at the theater. What's up?
I wanted to watch it again too. So the second viewing that I had with it, I was very interested to see if I would like it more or less. I personally, my score did not change, but I was like more at peace with my score. I liked the 8.5. I liked it. I enjoyed it a little bit more because everything that happens in the movie, I was waiting for certain things. I was waiting for Wolverine, what he did to be explained. I was waiting for why Deadpool is so important to be explained. I was waiting for why and him Vanessa broke up to be explained. I was waiting for all these storylines to converge and like make sense and for me to like feel something. And that never came the first viewing that I had. So when I went back and watched it the second time, I was kind of like not expecting all of those things. So I could just like, I kind of like had already accepted like, okay, I'm not getting this out of this movie. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to be waiting for it. So then I could just enjoy the fun stuff. So I enjoyed it more the second time, but that's just me.
All right. that makes me feel better.
Should we go spoilers now? Just so we can talk about anything.
Let me just, I think a couple things we didn't touch on. Hugh Jackman's incredible. He's incredible in this. He's incredible in this role. He's so fucking good, man. And I think like that's a big saving grace of this movie. Go, Hat Guy.
So I love what you're saying. I've talked about how great Hugh Jackman is. Andrew has. I know everybody has. This is what I wanted to talk about on this podcast because I haven't seen anybody talk about this. Because a lot of us are lower on it. Andrew's higher on it. Cam's higher on it. Alex Coleman is very low on it. I'm decently low on it for a nerd. Tyler's not a nerd. So like, but this is what I wanted to say. Is Deadpool and Wolverine and the potential sequels worth it to have brought back Hugh Jackman post Logan? That's what I want to talk about.
My worry now is I think it's worth it because I don't know. If we would have just recast the Wolverine character after Logan, I would have been cool with it. Now they shouldn't recast him because no one's gonna like if you send him, give him the send off, you can't recast him now. That's my big worry. And like they make the joke, he's gonna be doing this till he's 90. And he's gonna get that Robert Downey Jr. bag on him, man. Because why wouldn't you, right? It's not his fault in any way. And he's really freaking good. I don't know. I'm worried this is as good as it gets, and we're just gonna be sad from here on out. With every like Hugh Jackman performance from here on out is gonna be just mailed in like just kind of trash. That's my big worry.
They're keeping him on ice until they can make him interact with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
And then
I don't know how many more years his heart can take the cocktail of drugs they're pumping into him to make him look like that.
They're gonna be like, finally you can rest after you do that job.
The funniest thing of this thing in this movie is the fact that he got shredded for this thing for one scene at the very end. He got shredded for the movie for one fucking scene. And you're not wrong. He's doing a copious amount of drugs. And I don't know if he can take it. But yeah, I wanted to mention that he's just really, really good. And I don't know. I like Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. He does a good job. We can get into spoilers though. So if you have not seen the movie, skip ahead. Tyler, as always, does timestamps on the YouTube, and they should be in Spotify and Apple as well. But the movie opens up basically right where Deadpool 2 left off. Deadpool's using the time traveling device or time traveling watch that Cable has. He's going around to different timelines. He goes to the Earth 616 timeline, the sacred timeline, which is the MCU timeline, right, where he's with Happy Hogan. Played by Jon Favreau, who, by the way, I've officially decided Jon Favreau really sucks. I think he's really good. I think he's really go ahead. I think he's really, really bad. I love him for what he's done. Like I love The Mandalorian. I don't know. I liked him as Happy Hogan for a while. I think he sucks now.
Pourquoi? What did he do wrong?
He was there for 5 minutes, Cam. What did he do?
And he was really bad for those 5 minutes.
What did he do?
Like his acting?
I think it's the writing.
It might have been the writing too.
No, that's just his character. That's just Happy being happy, dude.
I think that scene sucks. I do not think it's got anything to do with Jon Favreau. Dude, Jon Favreau fucking yes, I'm pronouncing it like an asshole on purpose.
Is that how it's pronounced? Maybe.
No, it's definitely Favreau.
Okay, that's fine. I appreciate it.
He's like, what about in No Way Home? I know, No Way Home, Glazer. Oh my gosh. In No Way Home, when he like sees Peter and Aunt May and he drives in front and he doesn't say any line other than like go, but they're like that scene. And then the scene at May's tombstone where he's not supposed to know who Peter is. Like he's given good performances as this character. I'm not giving that to you. I'm definitely not giving it to you if you're talking about Jon Favreau as a human. Even though
I like him as a human.
His Lion King movie is anti-art, but he got a hell of a check for that, so I'm happy for him.
I like the Lion King.
Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2,
I
Elf,
didn't see
right?
those. No, yeah.
And the Mandalorian.
And the
Dude,
Mandalorian. He's brought me a lot. He's brought me as a human a lot of joy.
sucks.
Did someone say
based on a
Chef yet?
5-minute
Chef deserves mention.
5-minute
Steph
scene.
deserves a mention as well. But he's brought me a lot of joy as a person. I think I'm done with him in the MCU. I didn't love him in No Way Home. I didn't
That
like
was
him in
wait,
No
was
Way
that
Home.
the final
Shout
straw?
out- shout
that
out-
broke the camel's back.
It might be the final straw. Also, like the Mandalorian season 3, like kind of it was like the Lightning McQueen meme of my goat is washed.
That was literally me halfway through. I was like, McQueen is fading.
Yeah,
It's been fading the entire time, and
Man.
we've been unable to accept what is.
Such a useless scene, too, in my opinion. Like it kind of sets up the start, but like, does it really?
it doesn't.
It starts. It shows like Deadpool wants to matter, right? That's like that's the whole part of this movie is like Ryan Reynolds. The whole shtick of this movie is Ryan Reynolds makes jokes, but he actually cares. That's the whole that's the through plot of this thing is that Ryan Reynolds actually cares, even though he makes jokes, and that's how Deadpool is. And so that's basically what this scene is. 6 years later, whatever. Wade doesn't have Vanessa anymore. He's working in a car lot. He's working again, and I
couldn't believe how much time they spent on this. Like,
yeah,
I
right.
felt like it was like 20 minutes of it. I was like, we're spending it's a 2-hour movie. Why are we?
Peter was funny in Deadpool 2. Fuck him in this movie. He's not funny. It's the stick is played up.
He's like the Messiah.
This is my problem. I think I hate this movie, but I gave it like a 78 out of 100, like a 4 out of 5 stars. I like it. I just hate it. But then after all this, like just exposition, we get to the TVA. Matthew McFadden plays Paradox. Matthew McFadden, sorry, from Secession, among other things. But he plays Paradox. He explains to Deadpool he can go to the 616 timeline and just be happy there. The people above him, I think I forget who mentioned that they don't explain why, but he can go to the 616 timeline, the sacred timeline, and be happy. Or he can go back to his Earth that's dying. It's going to die in like 1,000 years or so, but Paradox's character wants it to die now. Makes no fucking sense. Because Logan dies. I think we also skipped over Bye 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 is the intro to this, and it's the dancing that you've seen. I liked it. I thought it was funny.
Oh, yeah.
It's good action.
So good. Yeah.
It's a good dance.
Dare we say it's the best looking part of this movie? I love the way the snow contrasts with the bright red suit.
I think it looks really good.
I think it looks really good.
It looks nice. Yeah.
Okay. I accept that take. I approve. Yeah. So now we're actually in the movie. He goes through a bunch of different timelines. Some big like different timelines. You get the very short Wolverine, which actually had me hollering. Like as soon as he hops off that bench, it has me dying, and I absolutely adored this. And then you get the Cavalry, and you get Henry Cavill plucked from the DCU. Just an absolute massacre on Warner Bros. I don't understand how you as Warner Brothers lets this happen. And he does do the iconic fist cuffing of fist pumps of Mission Impossible. Awesome. I love that all. And then many other Wolverine variants before he gets to, I don't know if any of them are of note that you guys want to talk, but I'm sure they are. I just haven't done a whole lot of like research into who's who. You can make note, Alex, either of the Alexes.
We're doing the montage. This is the last thing I wanted to say on this podcast because I don't feel like I did a good enough job saying it on my own. Mm-hmm. The montage is my favorite scene in the movie by kind of a country mile. And it is disappointing to me that you showed certain things that clearly were for us nerds. There's a very famous comic cover. That's what this is. Yeah. You do short Wolverine. You do Old Man Logan, which not enough people are talking about. Yeah. You did Cavill, which was great, and he does the fist thing. All these are great. But gosh darn it, Feige, you missed
brown suit.
2 things. You missed 2 things here. First of all, you showed us The Greatest Showman was in the soundtrack before the movie.
Yeah.
That should have been a bigger scene than just playing in the van. It should have been he's going from variant to variant, and he walks in, and he's got a top out. This is the greatest show. That would have been so funny, so hilarious. Huge missed opportunity there. And second.
Great song.
Gosh darn it. the best suit in the movie, which is the ultimate X-Men suit, which is the brown and the yellow. You got the destroyed forest, and you got him versus a real Hulk, and you don't show any of it.
Hulk,
Gosh darn it. They know that's what we want. And all you do is you show in the reflection of his claws the Mark Ruffalo Hulk scene from Thor Ragnarok on the bridge, literally copy pasted onto the claws. And then you see his back near Deadpool, and you don't do anything. You don't show any of that fight. Infuriating. I'm furious about it.
I wonder if that was a dispute, because Marvel has a lot of trouble getting Hulk in their movies just because Paramount actually owns Hulk, like owns the rights to making a Hulk movie, so they can use him in points like in She-Hulk and in the Avengers, but they can't like truly use him in his own movie. I wonder if they just like couldn't get the rights to Hulk for the week, so they just use like tall green monster or something with no face. But
like
yeah,
the AG
you're not
scene
wrong.
From Uncut Gems, where he's like, "Why the hell would you show me something if I couldn't have it?"
Yeah,
I was so pissed. But
That's
no,
fair.
yeah, the best suit by far is in that brown and yellow suit, and I really wish they took that like. I don't like the yellow one as much; it's too bulky for me and too over designed. I really wish they used that brown one. They just made it blue and yellow. It would have been perfect, and it would have accentuated Hugh Jackman's ripness a lot more than the other one. I don't know why they didn't do that.
So he finds depressed Logan. He in one of the timelines, who you later learn throughout the movie that Logan basically never wanted to join the X-Men. Again, his whole shtick of never wanting to join the X-Men, but in this universe, they all die because he's not there. He's out getting drunk, among other things, but we can get to that. And so, yeah, he is all depressed. He's sad. He's drinking. And Deadpool just rips him from his timeline, brings him back to Matthew McFadden's Paradox character. It's like, hey, just use this guy as my Logan in my universe. In my opinion, we can talk about like, does this defame Logan's arc in the like Sony Fox universe? I thought what they did with Logan was very funny at the start of the movie, but I don't personally like think that really ruins a character. I see a lot of people online, George Carmi specifically, like saying it ruins a character's arc. None of this is real. It's all fake, and it doesn't actually matter. And I like that movie whether he's going to come back or not. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But I think what they did is fine. Any points up? Any comments up until this point?
Yeah, I think obviously the opening scene is hilarious and awesome. The balls to start the movie, because they knew everyone would be talking about, Logan should have been at the end of this character. Like, they knew the internet would be doing that. So to start the movie with the line, everyone's wondering how we're going to do this movie without desecrating Logan's memory. We're not. And then showing the X is hilarious to me. And then having a whole fight scene where you're fighting with his skeleton is just hilarious. No, I don't think this does a disservice to that movie, because if you're going to do it, doing it in a different universe with a different company,
he's still dead,
with that variant still being dead, and making it Deadpool where it's kind of a joke, and doing the TVA, like all these things make it okay. And it kind of does respect to that movie, because a whole plot point in the movie, one of the things that actually kind of makes sense is like the anchor point. It's making Logan the most important person in that universe, and his sacrifice in that movie literally causing this timeline to wither away because he was so important. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And he was the most important character in the X-Men, so I totally respect it. I hope they do different characters now. Guess what? Wolverine not as important or as needed as you might think. So do it with a different actor and do it right, like in X-Men 97 did. But moving along, they both are back. He's basically told, like, just because you bring this Wolverine who sucks, you kind of get the this Wolverine sad. He's the worst Wolverine. That's not going to bring your friends back. Paradox's character still is going to kill them again. No reason, but he's just going to. So they prune him, as we've seen in Loki plenty of times, and he gets sent to the Void, which again we see in Loki. Hilarious joke, by the way, in my opinion, when they bring up Eliath. And he goes, Eliath from season 1, episode 5 of Loki. That made me laugh very hard in the theater.
Second biggest laugh out of me.
Yeah,
in the entire movie.
Going
Absolutely.
to the saying like from Loki wouldn't have made me laugh, but going to like the specific episode that made me laugh. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I'll be honest.
Oh, you missed the one before when he's suiting up and he goes, "Your Taylor's a predator."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was
that
awesome,
got me
man.
so off guard.
That line. That's one of my favorite lines.
Yeah,
It was
that was very funny to me as well. So we should mention Deadpool and Wolverine are both in the Void. And this is where you get the first fight scene between them. And it's awesome. I think the fight choreography in this thing is really, really great. There is a clip going around on Twitter right now, which is kind of just like old man yelling at sky or at clouds, like of the knife coming off his shoulder and flipping early. So it like goes through him. It's bad CGI. It doesn't make the movie awful. You took a 1 second clip of the movie. It happens. Like I don't think that makes the movie horrible, but people use it as like this movie's horrible. Look at this scene. Very cool fight scene. It's awesome seeing this, and I'm guessing this is different in the events that you guys saw it. Or at least Hat Guy, Alex, and Andrew, you guys went to like fan screenings or premieres and such. So I'm guessing the reactions were different. It's awesome seeing this in just a normal theater. People were losing it when the Fox Studios logo appears, like in my theater. People were absolutely dying laughing. I'm like, y'all didn't know this was coming. Like as soon as he gets thrown on it, I didn't like make any movement, and then they like zoom out and show the logo and everyone starts losing it. I'm like, yeah, all right. I can get behind this. Cool.
It's interesting too, because it's a bold move to like have a plot point be studio beef or studio acquisitions of Disney and Fox. Like how much does the general audience know or even care about that? So it's interesting to hear your theater like reacted loudly, because a lot of people are curious online, like, will anyone that's a general audience goer that is not chronically online even like know what the significance of any of this means? But sounds like your Indiana crowd.
Yeah, they were loving it.
That was like the second dig too. Doesn't he say "suck it, Fox" like in the middle?
Yeah, he runs over and like literally grabs the camera and headbutts it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. When he's like being called the Messiah or whatever, and he's like "suck it, Fox."
That was a funny scene. I don't know. I'm worried like I'm not gonna laugh at a single thing if I see it again in like my living room. But I was laughing a lot during the movie. I thought it was very, very funny. So they have their fight scene, and then right after that, the old X-Men universe villains basically circle around him, and then you see a mystery figure come out of the blue, and they're talking about him. I knew as soon as I heard the voice. I don't know if you guys did. Like I heard the voice and was like, "Holy shit!"
Really?
Big spoiler here. Yeah, I knew. Like I could pick that voice out of a crowd. I knew as soon. I was like, Chris Evans, there he is. Which I was pretty shocked by. That is one of the cameos that did not get spoiled for me. The Cavill one did, and the Blade one did, unfortunately.
Leading up to this moment, can someone explain what's the Mad Max bit all about? Like why did they do a full on?
I think they just were like, hey, we can do
Let's
Mad
make
Max
the Void.
Here.
Let's make the Void look like a Mad Max thing.
It's literally like the third best Mad Max scene of the year. Like number 1 being Furiosa, number 2 being in The Fall Guy, and then 3 being this. Like it's like the third, like when you're third place, like, but they did the whole motorcycle chariots.
I think it was more just like they already have the Void. It's a nothingness realm, and so they're like, fuck it, just make it a Mad Max joke. Alex,
we have news.
Breaking news.
Deadpool and Wolverine opened with a $440 million opening.
I did have that pulled up, but yeah, it is the 8th biggest opening of all time. It's like the 5th
domestically. Domestically, it's the 8th biggest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Crazy.
I guess.
This is
number one.
I just assume like the world numbers kind of align with the domestic numbers. Like if you're the 8th biggest US, you're probably the 8th biggest worldwide. I could be wrong. That's probably a bad assumption. Yeah, but to answer your question, Tyler, yes, I do think general audiences respond very well to this because it's doing big numbers right now, and people seem to love it. But yeah, Chris Evans appears the first big cameo. Well, second big cameo. You got Henry Cavill before as Johnny Storm. I knew again. As soon as he like shows up, I knew it wasn't going to be a Captain America variant. I'm sure you all did as well. Like when he's saying like he's going to say Avengers Assemble, and then he says Flame On and goes Johnny Storm. Again, my crowd went fucking nuts for this thing, man. And I was like, we didn't see this one coming, y'all. As soon as you see him, you got to assume it's Johnny Storm. But maybe I'm just an idiot. And everyone else is a fan of it. Moving on, they get captured, brought to Cassandra Nova, played by Emma Corrin, who I think did amazing in this thing. I don't know what your opinions on her were, but I think she was fantastic in this movie. I really liked her portrayal of Cassandra Nova. I don't know a ton about Cassandra Nova. We don't get a ton of her in this. We kind of just get her explaining her backstory. But do we have any opinions on her?
She's very
I thought she did great.
I think that she's like probably the most, dare I say, charismatic actor in this movie, which is crazy to say. And she doesn't get the craziest much to do with.
Wow.
It is pretty wild, but I have to go with it because I think she's really great. I think she didn't get like much to do with, and the fact that we get a Charles Xavier sibling, there's no remnants of a cameo or like a alternate Charles, is beyond me in this movie. I don't know what we're doing.
I think one of the craziest things about this movie is we didn't get a single X-Men universe cameo. Other than the villains.
They're obviously saving those.
Saving them for like Secret Wars. Yeah. That's
like,
fine.
That was my number one takeaway. It's like as soon as I realized that James Marsden and Halle Berry and all them didn't show up, I was like, oh, okay. Like we'll just see them in 2028 or whatever it is. As the resident comic nerd, the portrayal of Cassandra Nova, I think, was interesting. I liked her, and I'm going to say all the nice things that you guys are going to say, but Cassandra Nova is kind of like the X-Men's Joker. She just is kind of bad to be bad, and I think there's the line in the movie where they're like, why are you like this? And she's like, I don't know. Like, that's kind of more Cassandra Nova of just like, oh, yeah, the best comp is Reverse Flash to Flash. I don't know how much you guys know about Reverse Flash because he's not in any movies or anything, but like her entire being is to be a pain in the ass. Like she just wants to be a pain in the ass to Charles. So it was interesting seeing her in a movie where Charles isn't in it. It's like kind of like doing the Joker as like a Superman villain. It was just kind of weird. But she's good. She's definitely good.
She has the in my opinion, frustrating role of overpowered supervillain that they dumbed down a little bit to make her able to fight. Deadpool and Wolverine should have been like eaten up as soon as it's one of those things like they find creative ways to beat her, sure. But it's one of those things that like she should have snapped and they die. Because at one moment, she does snap and someone dies, and that's Chris Evans' character. Johnny Storm just gets basically his entire skin pulled off, and you see all his organs and his bones and everything. Just do that. It's a frustrating thing to show how powerful she is, because it's like, just do that for everyone else. Just kill all of the people, because you would if you were a super villain and you're like, I want to kill these people. You would just do that every time. It's so simple for her. You wouldn't throw Wolverine underground just so he can come and stab you in the back later. But yeah, that's just my opinion on it. It's interesting to hear your side of it being like more comic, because I've explained before, I don't read the comics. I'm a big nerd. Still, I just don't have enough time to read the comics, and I didn't as a kid. So I'm not as equipped with it. But yeah, I really liked Emma Corrin. I think she did a really good job in this thing. But Johnny Storm gets killed by her. You get a nice small little fight scene of her and Deadpool and Wolverine, and they escape Eliath, because she just basically, her whole point is she just basically like feeds Eliath and then keeps moving along. So they escape and move on from there. Any points that I missed that you guys want to talk?
She's working with the TVA, right? And like,
yeah, so she's kind of working with the TVA to be like a cleanup crew. She's happy in the void. And she was pruned as an infant. I think they say like she was pruned, you got to assume after birth, which is interesting. Pruning a baby. It's like the Hitler paradox of, would you go back and kill baby Hitler? But then following their escape, they meet a variant of Wade called Nice Pool, which is just Canadian Ryan Reynolds. I don't know. It made me laugh. They get in a car and then they kind of just go on a drive from there.
Not just a car, the car.
The Nissan.
The Honda Odyssey.
Thank you. Just a very simple product placement of here we.
I drive a Honda, so I was like, yeah, we love Honda.
Nice. I love it. Yeah, he's basically talking shit about the Honda Odyssey the whole time, and then at this moment, he's like, "Holy shit, the Honda Odyssey fucks." So they drive away. Logan is pissed off. I think it's after they go to the diner. They have the scene in the diner where they basically just talk, but then afterwards, they're driving along, trying to get to the outskirts, outer rim, whatever you want to call it, of this void universe to escape the void. And then Logan and Deadpool get in a fight in the car because Logan basically catches that Deadpool was lying. He doesn't know how to actually fix Logan's universe. This is the best scene in the movie, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys agree.
No.
You don't agree?
You mean the conversation they had or the fight or both?
Sorry, this is the conversation they had's good. You get a long
the acting from Hugh Jackman there was crazy.
Yeah, he does a really good job. Basically, tells Deadpool he's shit, he's nothing, he's worthless, all that jazz. Deadpool's fantastic, Wolverine's fantastic in this moment. I think he says it's one of God's best jokes that you can't die, except that's on all of us.
All of us, yeah.
Good quote.
Cooks them. And then he's like, you can't save your universe. You can't even save a relationship. Absolutely cooks him. It's not my favorite scene in the movie, but I do think that fight scene is a lot of fun.
Yeah, they have a fight scene, like a very close and personal fight scene in a car. It's kind of reminiscent of the the elevator fight scene from Captain America: Winter Soldier because it's so close. I really love this one. I think this is the best of the movie, but clearly I'm in the minority with that one. So they keep moving, and then eventually they are left unconscious and they're driven to the Borderlands, it's called, where they meet 4 more cameos. So you have Elektra coming back. No one even moved a muscle for this one. I'm so sorry, Jennifer Gardner. My audience was about as out on this one as you could get. They
actually have common sense.
Yeah, I
saw that cameo and I literally made a joke way before. I was like, people are going to see a lecture or something and they're going to go stupid, knowing damn well they didn't even watch the movie half the time or they didn't even care for it before. And if you did, you're in a very big minority. But
I like the joke about Daredevil. At least there's meta with their marriage.
I loved that. Yes, I loved that.
That was a really clever joke.
Yeah, so I think it's particular that first off, no one gives a shit about the Elektra character unfortunately, and then also I don't really know how in the public image outside of Capital One commercials Jennifer Gardner really is. I don't think she's that big of a star. I'm sorry. And that's my opinion on
not
it.
In the last 10 years.
Not in the last 15 years at this point, I feel like. But yeah, they do have a very where's Deadpool joke, and she says he died or something, and just or he doesn't need to be here. Talking about her marriage to Ben Affleck. He was on set a couple of times, but I think it was just their kids. They have kids together going to see her on set, so it's interesting that he got spotted on set, and I didn't see her get spotted on set. The big one is Wesley Snipes returning as Blade. People actually have a care for the Blade movies. I don't think they're that great. Blade is pretty good. I just don't care for the third. I don't think the second's as good as the first. I think I'm in the minority there. People went wild for Wesley Snipes showing up. This one got a big roar in my theater. And again, it makes the viewing experience a little bit more enjoyable in my opinion. You have Channing Tatum's Gambit, who, if you don't know, Channing Tatum has a long winded just corporate hell of trying to get a Gambit movie made. He's been trying to be in this universe for a long, long time. He was cast as Gambit and then had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts of X-Men Origins Wolverine. They were going to he signed the contract to do origin or solo movie of Gambit. later. He's been to Comic-Cons, like wearing Gambit shirts. He was supposed, as soon as like Fox bought Disney, one of the first things they did is like cancel a Gambit movie that he was, or sorry, Disney bought Fox. I had that flipped. They canceled it. So shout out Channing Tatum for just getting this opportunity. He still is not as good as the Gambit in X-Men 97. Like, even
I thought he was good. I thought he had
had some
didn't just
good
show
aura
up for a bag. He didn't just show up for a bag. He actually tried. He actually put an effort. He got more to work with than honestly like a borderline Casanova in this movie. Like, I feel like they gave Channing Tatum a lot of leg to run with, and I appreciate that he had some fun accents. Him and Matthew McFadden were having like an accent off in this movie, and I was.
Is that not Matthew McFadden's real accent?
It was an elevated. I mean, he's British, but it was highly elevated.
I love that one joke where like Remy LeBeau is just like he's going crazy in his like his Cajun accent, and you just hear freaking dude, who's your dialect coach?
Yeah.
Like, that was a great joke.
That was funny
of his French accent. That was really cool. He was cool. I mean, it was like a cool thing. It was like this is like a very weird comparison, but also not the same. It's like when they gave in the Flash movie Nicolas Cage the chance to play Superman. That's how it felt.
No, but they didn't, because
they
just
that
used
was
old footage.
a lot worse than
Yeah.
this one, where he actually got the chance to like act and play him and get his little send off to something that he never got to do. That was like, okay, that's fun. Plus, the card powers look really cool. The power.
Yeah, they did.
That's a lot of compliments to give a movie that you think is just as good as Captain Marvel.
Dude, I have to like reshape my image of hating. I'm trying so hard. I'm trying so hard. I came into this. I'm like, I'm not gonna hate.
I like it. I appreciate it. Yeah, he basically explains his power as he throws the cards. They go boom. They gave him the staff. Alex, we talked this a bunch, like during the X-Men 97 episode of like, why can't they do this in live action? It's because everyone automatically goes to the cards. Like, they just, as soon as they know this guy throws cards, they're like, hell yeah, I'm gonna do that. He's got other weapons. He can energize anything. Like, just give him other things. And then we get the reveal of Laura. Oh shit.
That was me in the theaters. No way she's in this. They didn't spoil this for me at all.
They had an explanation for why she was spoiled, and I don't like hate the explanation of like she just wanted to go to the premiere, and they were like, "Fuck it, just add her in."
I have a rebuttal to that. I have a great rebuttal to this. Okay,
I love it.
We had several of our patrons fly out for the Soups event. We got to watch it with them for their first time. We got lunch with them the day of. We saw them. We got to spend some time with them. They came to a party of ours, and we were all talking. And I was like, you know what? I don't hate it that you spoiled that, because she wanted to go to the premiere. That's cute. That's sweet. Even though I was very upset about it 2 weeks ago when they revealed it. And one of the patrons, his name is Aiden. Aiden turns to me and he goes, Walker Scobell was at the premiere. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, wasn't he like the most rumored person for Kidpool? Yeah. And I was like, yeah. And he was like,
does anyone care about Kidpool?
And he was like, is he Kidpool? And I was like, no. And he was like, but Walker Scobell was at the premiere. And I was like, oh. So she totally could have been at the premiere.
I think that's very, very different from someone who was in these movies and heavily rumored to possibly be in that. I mean, like Walker Scobell, if you want to say, was heavily rumored to be Kidpool, that's fine. But like, does anyone give a shit about Kidpool? I'm sorry.
The Walker Scobell fans certainly do. Like, I don't. I'm not going to give that to you. Like, I think that
Walker Scobell fans go hard. We took a picture with him, and I filmed something with him
on them.
And
I think they should.
My pictures got reposted by like 5 different like Walker Scobell update Instagram pages.
Kind of crazy. That's insane that dude's got a fan base that big.
I also don't like the fact that like I got messages from multiple people that were like, Walker Scobell is taller than you, and they were like pointing that out as like some.
That's kind of fucked up.
Wild fact.
Me personally, I wouldn't take that kind of disrespect.
What I was like,
why are you saying this to me?
That's kind of brutal. I guess. I don't know. Spoiling it 5 days before is such a I don't even know if it's a like poverty play, because I don't know how much money it actually brought in, but it's kind of a poverty play. Unfortunately, it's just my goat is cooked. But yeah, they get the whole like movie after this is like, how can we give them a better send off than what they got. X-23 got a really good send off. Like, so it doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't, it's more so for the Gambit and I like that Channing Tatum throughout this is making jokes that like everyone's like, we want a good send off. And he's like, I just want to try it a send off or something like that. He's like,
no, he said, I'm going to make a name for myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a name for myself.
He just wants a damn opportunity. Unfortunately, you mentioned the joke about like his thick accent. That's like the second best joke of that exact same joke this year. Like the boys did it so much better when Chase Crawford is talking to Butcher and he's just like, I can't even understand what the fuck you're saying. And Butcher has like just a normal accent. It's very funny. But moving on, they all go back to the whatever it's called, the big Ant-Man thing that they've got. They learn that Juggernaut's helmet can stop Cassandra Nova like an Magneto helmet or what have you, has that same effect. It can stop Cassandra Nova. They go there. Good action scene. This is kind of like the big action scene of the movie. I still like. Is this everyone's favorite? Is this what you guys thought? What's your favorite? Oh, is it the bye bye? Bye
bye is probably my favorite. I think the one shot is a lot of fun. I think the one shot at the end, the car fight, and the opening scene are all better.
Okay, that's fair. I guess this isn't necessarily the big fight scene. I was lying about that. But they go to the Ant-Man, the layer of Cassandra Nova. They use the helmet on her. She's about to die. This is kind of where you get the backstory of Wade. I'm kind of speeding through this because I do want to get to the end, and I know we're short on time some. You get the backstory, on Logan. He killed his universe, and then he just goes on a rampant killing spree, basically. And then her powers, by the way, I really liked how they did them of her putting her fingers through the head. That really kind of irked me.
And the CGI on that looked incredible.
It looked really good because you see the skin moving with it and everything. Yeah, they did a really good job with that, especially the idea that she has to touch you to get inside your mind. It that really gave me the heebie-jeebies that a spider was on me or something. But they eventually
stuff right there. That was really good. That was really cool.
Yeah, they eventually beat her with the Juggernaut helmet. She gets shot by Pyro, who's also working with the TVA. So she lets them out. Funny that what she uses to let them out is just a sling ring. And that was the big where are they going in the trailer? Big talk of the town. I wasn't super disappointed again because I'm not super impacted by these movies at this point where they can't disappoint or excite me. It feels like I'm just kind of, I don't know, I'm mellow at this point and numb to it. But I don't know if you guys were disappointed that all they were doing it was getting out of the void to go back to their Earth with the sling ring.
Alex or whatever, didn't you say that in Loki they made a rule you can't even use the sling ring in the void?
Yes.
Oh, did they? That's awesome.
I don't like it because it sets such an odd precedent because any sorcerer, there are sorcerers
can go anywhere.
Do you remember in She-Hulk? Well, I don't know how many of y'all watch She-Hulk, but there's a
She-Hulk's not bad
magician who quits Kamar-Taj that has one of those, and he's just. So you're telling me he has all the power in the multiverse that you can leave the void with one of these? I don't like that at all. And so it just tells me that any Doctor Strange that gets pruned, they can leave immediately.
They can leave,
That doesn't make sense. And then
she says they showed up and she took it from that Doctor Strange or that whoever it was, magician.
Yeah, but I don't like that. And then another thing I don't like is what? So do sling rings give you the power to travel across multiverses? Because that's how you have to explain
that. Wasn't how it was explained, but yeah, it does now.
The void is not in the 616 universe. It's not in the 10005 universe. So I'm cool with I'm cool with a sling ring sending you to anywhere in a single universe. But you're telling me that Benedict Cumberbatch can go to other universes? I don't like that at all. I think
that's fair, and that's good quality comic nerd knowledge that I appreciate because I 100% agree with you. It's not explained well enough, and it's just kind of a silly addition to get them out. Literally do anything else, right? You didn't have to
give her a temp pad.
Yeah.
Give her a temp pad. That's all.
That's there you go. You nailed it. Because you don't have to do the sling ring. But once they get back to their Earth, they go to stop Paradox, but then Cassandra Nova comes through and is like, actually, I would like to take over this universe because the TVA betrayed me, and she's going to take over every universe and make everything the Void. That's her motive. She likes the Void. And this is where you get, she comes through, she brings the army of Deadpools through. You get a couple cameos, but you never see anyone's face of this army of Deadpools. You get Blake Lively as Lady Pool. You get Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's daughter as Kid Pool, I believe. You have Matthew McConaughey as Western Deadpool. And there are a couple others that I can't remember off the top of my head, but they're not super important by any means. You don't see anyone's face. It's all under the mask, just voice acting. And this is a good fight. So we finally get the unveiling of the Wolverine mask. Fans have been waiting for 24 years for this thing. Just finally puts it on. It's a CGI'd mask. It looks good at some moments. It doesn't look good at other moments. There is a again viral clip on Twitter of Wolverine doing an NPC like head shaking clip on like CGI Wolverine doing like standing around. That's not great. And that I noticed in theater. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, the mask looks
like a Fortnite loading lobby. You're just like,
it's literally like the Fortnite loading lobby, man. It's so bad.
Yeah, the mask does not look good. I
think it looked good at points. I think it looked really good at moments. But it definitely has its. I like the white eyes, so I like the design of it as well.
Yeah, the white eyes are really cool. Really cool.
But when he first put it on, like people were getting crazy, people were amped. I admit I let out a because the theater was loud, so I got to contribute.
Someone made a good point though. They were like, "Where the heck was he putting that the entire?"
No, yeah, it came.
Was
out
this?
of nowhere,
no, but my thing is, it
nowhere.
definitely was just nanotech, right? It was just nanotech.
No, because it was like a slip-on. It was like a slip-on.
No, I know.
It was CGI, Alex, is what it was. If you really want the answer, it wasn't there, dude. It's fake.
I thought they did have a practical mask that they used as well as CGI.
There was definitely a practical mask. I don't know if he wore
was
it.
Though. I don't know. I think it was CGI'd like the Thor mask, man.
No, when he first puts it on, that's got to be practical.
Yeah.
Right?
And then I think the whole fight might be CGI, but I think when he pulls that off,
the way it stretches on his face, it looks like those CGI Mission Impossible.
I think it's
masks.
all CGI.
I think it's CGI.
Honestly. I could be wrong.
No way.
Feel free to find
it possible to make and wear like naturally.
Apparently, because I genuinely believe it's CGI the whole time. So let me know if I'm completely wrong. Like
that slow-mo shot of him reaching back and going like this. You think?
Yeah, I think that's all CGI.
I think that's CGI. I would like to say something that is going to hurt Andrew's credibility here. He has no knowledge about what's good CGI and what's bad CGI whatsoever. We go over this on our show all the time.
I love it.
He is convinced that the final battle in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings with the big dragon and another big dragon
is real.
He is convinced that's a good CGI fight. He has no idea what good CGI is.
I never said the CGI of it is good. I said it's fun.
It's a good fight. It's a fun fight. I'll give you that.
No, it's
and
not.
also it doesn't make the movie bad that there's a dragon there. That's my point.
Oh, it does.
No,
and it makes it even worse that the CGI sucks.
The CGI in that scene is not great. And also, like, what's your opinion on like the Captain America Brave New World trailer? Like Red Hulk looks good, but it also looks like he's not standing in a real place at any moment. I don't know.
The scenes with the cherry blossoms are very clearly in the volume, which I don't love. But I think otherwise that trailer is edited phenomenally. Like,
I wasn't asking about that. I just meant like the CGI.
Oh, I didn't give a shit. There's a black Captain America. I'm there.
Alex.
I don't care, bro. I have to rep it. But
the MCU loves doing trailers. If they were just in the trailer business, they'd be great. So critically successful.
They'd be amazing.
Oscar for trailers, just like that should low key be a thing. I digress, but like
an Oscar best trailer.
Just like
you're cooking.
Actually, funnily enough, it was one of the first events I went to in LA. I was with Soups and Chris Bazaya and Connorville. If you guys know those guys, Soups invited us to what's called the Golden Trailer Awards, and it is the Oscars for trailers, and it was very cool.
Fun. That's kind of fun.
Soups presented one of the awards. It was a lot of fun. It was a very fun event. Everybody there was a raging alcoholic, and they kept making jokes about it.
Them's my
fun.
people.
It was
then.
a fun
Hell
event.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So then you get the Deadpool and Wolverine versus all the Deadpools. By the way, we'll talk this in a couple minutes. There's like 3 jokes in this movie about how the multiverse sucks at the MCU and they need to stop doing the multiverse. It's played out. We're done with it. And then the news of last night comes out. So I don't know exactly where Marvel's going with this one. They obviously
remember that joke though, the one they constantly keep making towards the end of this movie where it's like, oh, I do like everything post Endgame. I think it's been a steadily what was it?
Yeah, it's like he's like it's been steadily
great since Endgame.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I didn't like Nice Pool in the opening scene with Nice Pool. Like I didn't think the shtick was funny. He's hilarious and is instantly the funniest Deadpool in a scene with a million Deadpools in that final scene. The scene where he's like, what's the deal? Why are you dead weight? Like you're heavy as fuck. And he's like, I'm paralyzed. Like that's hilarious. My favorite joke in the entire movie. I too can lightly tap the fourth wall. The proposal. That was good. I am still laughing about that joke.
I went to the bathroom. I missed all this. I was
terrible.
I missed that.
I like right after when Wolverine just walks across with Dogpool. That's one thing that just made me laugh because you're not going to shoot. I wouldn't shoot Dogpool, and I'm glad they did.
No, that was funny.
Dogpool, we love Dogpool.
Yeah, we stand
a lot of bad
Dogpool.
things about this movie, but Dogpool is not one of them. We stand Dogpool.
What's funny?
Then they get through their fight scene. They end up so the way they beat Cassandra Nova is long exposition of you're gonna have dark matter and antimatter or pure matter and antimatter combining basically. Not one of them can withstand it, but guess what? The big plot of it is they both can withstand it. Hell yeah, it's a good scene. Like a prayer playing in the background is fucking awesome. I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it. It's stupid, but it makes me smile from ear to ear. So I was a big fan of it. And I think the mainstream audience is a big fan of it as well. So I'm glad I'm not alone, but it's definitely a silly, like, yeah, one of us can't beat it, but 2 of us can. Hell yeah. Kind of scene. So and then they resolve everything. One thing we didn't shout out, and you guys can talk the final scene, but I completely forgot this. This movie is actually 100 out of 100. Yukio was in it, so shout out Yukio.
Hi, Yukio.
Bye,
Yukio.
Yukio.
So those are my favorite scenes in all this thing.
Yeah, it's the best scenes in the movie.
I'm sorry you had to see that, Yukio. It's okay, Wade.
I love her.
My God.
I love her. It's 100 out of 100.
Solo movie on Disney
perfect
Plus,
movie.
6 episodes.
It's a perfect movie. Just give me all Yukio.
You guys said you didn't think you guys said you think Hugh Jackman will be back as Wolverine, but didn't you think that was like his second version of a send off with him being like, "Will I see you again?" And he's like, "Probably not." I feel like that was kind of like
he joined.
Yes, but then he asked him to come back.
Did you like skip the end of the episode or end of the movie?
It's open ended. Like it's. You know what I don't fucking like about this movie is that, and this is I gotta go. This is my send off. Fucking. Kevin Feige was like, this affects the MCU. It's an 8 out of 10 on the scale of
such a lie. Such a lie.
This is going to affect the MCU for the rest of time. This is going to have lasting effects on the MCU. This movie, they could never address this movie again in the same way that they could never address the Eternals, Celestial in the ocean again.
No one would know.
Nobody would know. That's how fucking not affecting the MCU this movie is. They stay in the Fox universe.
By
an
8 out of 10. Yeah, that's true too. I forgot about that. By an 8 out of 10, all he means is that, hey, now we have Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. That's all.
He's not in the MCU.
Yeah, I forgot about that too. They are on the Fox universe at the very end.
Well, it's not even the main Fox because Vanessa's still alive in that one. I'm so annoyed with the whole. They're about to all die, right?
It makes sense.
Hugh Jackman's getting his next send off again because this movie's treated like a send off, like I said, but it's not. Deadpool about to die, which I thought is like perfect for him, but he went to a different universe and got an actual alive Vanessa. But I liked when in the second one where he was at peace, like dealing with the fact that he wanted to be with her in death, and then he finds new people to love, and like it's all great. But like they do the Guardians thing where they bring back another Vanessa, but instead of like the Guardians to having the balls say Peter Quill's not going to be with her, he's moving on because that's not his Gamora. That's actually a ballsy and a logical choice. They have a be with Vanessa at the end, and I'm like, none of this matters. None of it matters.
Guardians 3 still the best movie since Endgame. Still the best they've done since Endgame. Actually, maybe
No Way
not.
Home.
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah, Far From Home.
Far From Home.
I'm on the Guardians.
What?
I think Guardians is the best.
Did you just say Far From Home is better than No Way Home and Guardians 3? And
He thinks
Deadpool
Far From
Wolverine?
Home's the best Spider-Man movie ever.
Well,
live
yeah,
action.
delusion.
Don't
Wow,
do that to me.
that's the most delusional thing I've ever heard in my life. That's crazy.
Spider-Man Far From Home is fucking great.
Well,
Yeah,
Andrew, don't you
I
think
like
that-
it. It's great, but hey, guess what? Lots of other movies exist.
Wait, Andrew, do you
I'm
think TASM 2 is the best one? Live
No,
action?
I think TASM 2 is better than Far From Home, though.
That's fucking nuts, man.
No,
That's
it's not.
fucking insane.
I actually
Yeah.
don't think I have it higher, but
Yeah.
I like
They're
that.
all insane.
I was about to
I
say,
know there are a
Spider-Man
lot
2
of people.
exists.
There's a lot of like TASM revisionist history that's going on these days.
Hey,
But like
Every
no
Raimi movie
revisionist
is bad.
history happening here. I came out of TASM 2 in the theaters, and I was like, yeah.
every Tom Holland Spider-Man is better than every Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
No, opposite, and you're almost there.
Stop
So
it.
close, so close.
Stop it.
Every
No,
Raimi is better than every Holland.
Homecoming is
Every Tom
actively
Holland.
bad.
Spider-Man 2 really exists.
No,
Far From
I'm
Home's
actually, no, Far From Home is clearly worse than the two good Raimis. But Homecoming and No Way
Two.
Home are both.
Three.
Yeah,
better
I'll take
than
this. I'll
the
take
Raimis.
Spider-Man 1 and 2 with Toby are better than.
I'll take
Yeah.
these.
1, 2, and 3 are better than all of Tom's. Like, what do we
I will die
There we go.
on the hill.
Sense.
I will die on the hill that when Homecoming came out, it was the best Spider-Man movie we had ever gotten.
It was at the
No.
time, and then we got Far
No.
From Home.
And
No Way Home's the
Spider-Verse. The
worst of the Tom
Spider-Verse
Holland.
movies are clearly better.
Well, yeah.
The Spider-Verse
That's not
are,
even like
a different thing,
1 and
yeah.
2. That's different. I mean, those are just goated, like the other two. But I do think Guardians 3 is still better than Far From Home, I will say.
But you think Guardians 3 is No Way Home is clearly better than Guardians 3.
No,
in my
Guardians.
No,
Clearly-
Guardians 3 is like a really
This is
great
where we
movie.
differ.
Yeah, this is
Guardians 3, I think Guardians 3 has the end game problem. I think it's a little messy. I think it's a little messy.
I mean, I'm gonna be that guy. Like, if we start saying there are movies in this franchise that aren't a little messy, we have issues.
If Guardians 3 is
There
messy,
are
No Way Home
every
is
single
messy.
movie in this franchise is a little messy here.
I strongly disagree. Civil War, not messy.
Civil War
No.
is not as good as
Sorry.
people
No,
say.
Civil War's not
War
as
is not
messy.
very good. It
No,
is very good. It is
What?
good. I think
Civil
I
War is
have it at-
great.
I still
But
have
I
it
don't
like
like the
4.5
MCU, and I
out
think
of
it's
5.
great.
I still have it at like a 4.5.
Yeah,
out of 5.
Tyler
It's
is
just
probably
like
the
15th
baseline
on
of
my
like the
ranking.
average non-MCU fan, and the fact that he still likes
Civil War good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
have
like,
it at like
I'm not giving
15th
that
or
to you.
16th in the MCU. I'm not
That's
a Civil War fan.
crazy work. But you think
It's the-
Endgame? You think I'm crazy for Endgame down there?
Civil War is better than Endgame.
Okay.
Or sorry. Endgame's better than Civil War.
No,
That
you're right the
completely-
first
me
time.
messing it up completely
No,
negated
but the
my
thing
point.
is
Oh,
with your
it's
end, no, but
Oh.
the thing is with the Endgame thing, like I've said it before, you can't rank that shit as a movie. That's a cinematic
Yeah, that's
event.
it's very
That's a
hard. I
roller
watched it
coaster.
as an
That's a
individual
10-year
movie the other day, though, and I
culmination.
still
Like
love
I
it.
can't rank that as a proper movie.
My
That's why it's
problem with
on my
Endgame is
list.
there's a lot of moments I really dislike, but every moment that I really love is trumps it so much. I
Yeah,
don't.
yes.
It
Exactly.
just trumps it by miles.
You're there for the
and
last
miles.
hour of that movie. You're not there to watch it for like stop it. The 2 hours. I've
That's
watched-
not true. I think
I've
there's a
watched
lot
that
of great
movie
emotion
30
of
plus
the.
times. I think
there's a
literally-
lot
it's
of great
struggles.
emotion before the. I actually think the time heist is the worst part of that movie. Like if we're doing it
All the
first,
time
third,
travel
second,
shit.
third, first, third, second, third, third, third. I think the first third's really great. The third third's really great, and the second third is a miss a little bit. But they have to do it right. They have to.
So I have to head out.
Mhm.
Thank you guys so much
I
for
appreciate
having
your
me.
time.
My final thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine is it's a fun mess. I think it's going to be easily the highest grossing rated R movie of all time.
Yep.
I think it's
Gonna get
going
there.
to make a lot of money, and I think Marvel, as we know, is going to learn the wrong lessons from this making a shit ton of money.
Yes.
Um,
As they
and-
already have.
Of
The No
course,
Way
because
Home
they
effect.
learned. Because they exactly. I love Alex's take that the MCU learned the wrong lessons from No Way Home, and
Mhm.
we are suffering the consequences now.
Yep.
So I think it's a fun mess. It's a mess. I wish it was less of a mess because I do think the highs are really high. But it's a lot of fun. It's funny. I think, if you don't like the Deadpool shtick, you're not going to like it. But if you don't mind the Deadpool shtick or you like it, you're probably going to love this movie. We
Mhm.
came out of that theater at the premiere, at the Soups fan event. Obviously, not exactly the MCU hater demographic
No.
walking out of those two theaters, but everybody was like, that's the best movie ever. That's the best MCU movie. People are going to be really high on this movie for several months, and then a couple months, inexplicably, everybody's going to turn on it. All of us will have been right from the jump, which will be a good feeling. It'll be fun to brag about that in a couple of months. but overall, yeah, Marvel's going to take the wrong lessons from this, making a shit ton of money. But I'm happy this movie exists, which is not something I felt walking out of the premiere, but something I felt walking out of the Soups fan event. I'm very happy this movie exists, and I had a great time with it. I think a lot of people will have a great time with it. And 7 out of 10 is my final score. Thank you guys so much for
Happy
having me.
birthday.
Thank you for
Happy
joining.
birthday.
Happy
Enjoy
birthday.
it.
Enjoy your time.
Thank you.
Andrew, and other Alex, I guess, are we losing you both as well? Or do we have you still up?
I'm still here.
Alex Coleman's good.
I'll stay just a little bit longer.
Sure. I do want to
see you
make a
guys.
note on this before I think the best moment of this movie. See, hat guy. I think the best. Oh, we lost. Okay,
You're back. You're back.
I think the best part of this movie is the end credit scene, which is unfortunate, but I really love the send off. That's fun. That's good stuff.
Yeah,
but
they
the
did
during
not have to do
credits,
that.
yeah.
They
Did
didn't
not have to do that, and they did that, and I think that was really nice.
No, I agree. I really, really liked it. You see like old interviews of them like first getting into the characters and stuff, and that's awesome. That's good. That's good fun. Like when
You
they're
can
younger.
see a Fan 4 stick, like 2 scenes.
Yeah,
from it.
yeah,
I was
you
like,
do. That what a whack movie. What a bad movie. And then one thing that really pisses me off about this movie, and a lot of people online called it like people that are way extreme, like call this movie like super homophobic because like it's just like Ryan Reynolds making like gay jokes the entire time and like saying he's gay. It did like the whole time. I'm like, all right, he's making like 90 jokes about like he's cool with getting pegged, but like nothing in this movie is like him actually like just kiss a dude. If you want to like support, just kiss a dude. Like it felt like half baked of like the Deadpool character is like pansexual and all of that, and it felt like a very half-baked idea on that of like we're just going to make a bunch of jokes about him being gay, but we're going to like refuse to actually do that because again they want to just make a shitload of money and you can make jokes but you can't like show dudes kissing in China, and so you need like all your money over there, right? So that was a little frustrating, like part of it. I don't think by any means it's like homophobic of the movie. I've seen that online. I'm like, yeah, like during the movie I was very frustrated. It felt very half-baked, kind of like Luca does, where they're just like refusing to go the full way. Like just kiss a dude. There's nothing wrong with it. And so I kind of would have liked to see that. And then it would have made the jokes all a-okay for me, but it felt like they were kind of half baked. Any other thoughts on the film?
No. I don't think so.
I just want to say,
We're cooked.
before the 2 months, happen, and we all see that, I had the time stone. I saw the future. I knew what was going to happen. I called the score correctly. Because once again, the hardest choices do require the strongest wills. My 2.5 out of 5 will be the definitive ranking for this movie because equal parts good and bad. It is perfectly balanced, like all things.
I very much feel like I'll get down to a 3 at some point. I'm really worried to rewatch this movie. I don't think I want to rewatch it, to be honest.
I think people will realize the problems with this movie in a few months. I don't think people will give it a 5 out of 10. I don't think most people will drop that low.
It does feel low.
Hey, maybe on rewatch I give it a 3. Maybe on rewatch I give it a 3, and everything we're good.
I had a lot of fun. Alex, I'm going to stop like inviting. Every time we talk nerd stuff, I'm like, wait, we can get Alex. He'll glaze this shit with me. If you turn into this man, I'm going to have to stop inviting.
It's because
I can't keep fighting these battles alone, man.
I think it's the George effect because George isn't here. I have to
George is depressed and
be the
killing
negative
me right now
Nancy.
too. He's breaking my heart as well. Everyone's hurting me.
I'll say I can stay if we want to talk about the one big piece of Comic-Con news from yesterday. We'll talk.
We'll move on. Leave your comments below on what you thought of Deadpool and Wolverine. Give us your thoughts on scores or whatever, and post your letterbox reviews. Let us know what you guys thought. But we'll move on to Comic-Con. We will start just for Andrew to talk. The biggest piece of news of the night is that they have a title for Avengers 5. They have directors for Avengers 5 and 6, and then a big casting reveal. So the title being for Avengers 5 is Avengers Doomsday, obviously hinting at Dr. Doom, being directed by Anthony and Joe Russo, who are also doing Avengers 6, Avengers Secret Wars. That title did not change. Avengers 5 used to be the Kang Dynasty. All the shit happened with Jonathan Majors. They're making a full change on that to get to Dr. Doom ASAP. And Dr. Doom is being played by Robert Downey Jr. Crazy reveal. Very insane reveal. All-time Twitter night. Like if you're in the comic book space, like there are moments in life where Twitter is just the best app.
The greatest app by far.
Last night was a really great Twitter.
I was
night.
just refreshing constantly.
Yeah, like hilarious to read through these tweets. The Chris Evans has been cast as Magneto tweet,
Yeah.
did numbers like
Scarlett Johansson as Wolverine.
as
like,
Wolverine. Yeah, just insane. It's going to be like in 2095 when Kevin Feige the third is up at Comic-Con saying Robert Downey Jr.'s presence has been cast as like Spider-Man 83 or something.
Till he's 90.
Till he's 90. That's the biggest reveal.
I find it so funny. He just wins an Oscar and he's back at the fucking
Yeah,
MCU.
he said,
He went and did what he needed to do. You know what I mean?
dude, he got paid $150 million for both Endgame and Infinity War. That's like a movie's budget. That's way more than a movie's budget.
Yeah,
and he just got it in his pocket.
now?
But like, why does he need? How do
I don't know, but like maybe
First
you're
Dan Downey's dream cars.
After you hit that third parlay, Tyler, why do you need the fourth? You're just gluttonous, man. This man.
If my parlays are 300 million, I would place another one. delete DraftKings.
That's fair.
All right, so good or bad? Is it good or bad?
It's good from the sense that he's a good actor, bad from every other sense.
Yeah, Tyler?
We're just right back in the that's what you were mentioning in the review. Like they just made fun of this for a whole movie.
Yeah, they did
2 days ago, and then now they're like Tony Stark variant. I don't know. I like Robert Downey Jr. a lot. If this is going to take away from more Oppenheimer opportunities, that sucks. If it's taken away from more Doolittle opportunities, happy for it. You know,
yeah, it's fair. He's got
it's literally
two
like
sides of the coin.
It's impossible to like when you go into movies, you have to suspend your disbelief for a little bit. It's impossible to like literally have the poster boy godchild, the Messiah, the #1 draft pick of your franchise, the greatest character, Iron Man.
This LeBron James coming back to play football.
And now you have him now as playing Dr. Doom. Were there no other actors? And I get
and that's the question. Like, were there no other actors?
And it
what a fucking Romanian
like,
actor, you dumb idiots! Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it strikes me as one of those things where like let's just slop. Let's just like let's get him back. Let's get him back.
I know your thoughts, but I'd love to hear an in-depth thought from it.
For me,
yeah.
Yeah. So there's positives and negatives here. So I'll do negatives first. The negatives are, I mean, like you said, it's slop. It's going to be viewed as a money grab, regardless of what they do with it. It does call into question the integrity or the respectfulness of what Iron Man is and what Robert Downey Jr. did as Tony in the Infinity Saga, which was one of the best things that they did in the Infinity Saga is Iron Man. It's the main. He's the main character. So bringing him back is scary, regardless of how you do it, and can be seen as disrespectful. So money grab, disrespectful, and he's Victor Von Doom. So like it would have been interesting.
They said Victor Von Doom. Victor Von Doom.
Right. It would have been interesting.
Iron Man or anything like that.
Like if it's an Iron Man variant and like, Tom Holland Spider-Man comes face to face with this Tony Stark variant and Tony somehow, everyone's using the infamous Iron Man thing or whatever, but like he's Von Doom. So it's got to be a multiverse thing, and doing the multiverse thing is probably a negative. The positives here are
is the we talked about this earlier yesterday. The Fantastic Four is set in the 60s. Maybe he popped up in the 60s, and like maybe that's when it's set, so it's like not as jarring. Maybe they
what if he's a Skrull?
Maybe they Colin Farrell Penguin him and they make him look different, but at that point. There are like millions of actors with Eastern European accents that you could have done. But like, I don't know. But like at the same time, I'm like a little like, I'm happy because like he's back and it's like it's cool because he's a great actor and it's like Dr. Doom and I'm like, oh my god, once again, all the slop in the world, I'll eat it up. But it's like, I don't know.
So my positives are like kind of what you just said. Like it's Robert Downey Jr. Like he's just awesome. So like the acting, I think he can nail the role, and I think just seeing Robert Downey Jr. back is fun and will make some people excited, including myself. I also, another positive, what he said on stage, new mask, same task. I think that is extremely interesting. I felt it was more interesting if it was a Tony Stark variant, but his Tony character being his main motivation of, I want to put a suit of armor around the world. I want to protect the world. And like that maybe being Victor Von Doom's motivation as well, but that turning him into a villain or an evil character in like contrast to Tony is very interesting to me. And then my third positive is like, hey, it's Kevin Feige, it's the Russo brothers, it's Robert. You got to trust them a little bit. I mean, they gave us some of the best in the MCU. So, like, I don't want to pass judgment yet. We need to trust the process a little bit because that's who they are.
I still trust Kevin Feige, and I think like people saying like Kevin Feige's cooked. He doesn't. Well, like what the fuck is this? Like I really don't think. I still trust him. I think he knows what.
Yeah, and the Russo
doing.
brothers. Yeah,
and the Russo brothers
with the whole suit of armor on the like that Tony perspective. The whole thing with Doctor Doom is he wants to be in control of everything because most of the time he's right. Like he's good. He's better for the universe being in control. And having that viewpoint and maybe having an evil Tony variant with that mindset that actually work, like that could really work for me. It's just really going to be hard to look at Robert Downey Jr. and be like, that's a complete new character in this universe.
How am I supposed to say that's Victor Von Doom? Like that's if I watch Oppenheimer, I'm like, oh, it's like balding Tony Stark. Like, you know, I think he does an amazing job in it, but I can't get Tony Stark out of my brain because I'm stupid. But I think the idea that I'm gonna watch this movie in this franchise, and they're gonna make comments about it, right? They're gonna do the holy shit, it's Iron Man. No, I'm Victor Von Doom kind of thing. But
yeah, so weird.
I hope they don't.
I don't know.
Really
I think it's stupid. You think they'll just go about it completely?
I think if you want it to work, you can't do it because you keep Deadpool or whatever away the hell from that. There can be zero jokes about this. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. If you want this to be even like
it's not going to work.
To take this seriously at all, you can't do it.
The reveal was one of the greatest things I've ever seen with my eyes.
Of all time.
Tyler tweeted it best. Had great aura. Incredible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if there's another human being with more aura than Robert Downey Jr. He just like everything he does, but the walking up and just taking the mask off and hitting the pose again, crazy.
Aura, but
Pookie Bear has more aura.
I love Pookie Bear, but yeah, no, I literally just like I've rewatched that video multiple times. Of them just like, who's it gonna be? Takes out the mask and you're like,
Jared Leto.
I was at
that was funny. That was hilarious.
I was at a game watching. I was actually watching like a soccer match, football match, obviously. And I literally could not believe, like I couldn't believe the news. I looked at it and I was like, they're pranking me. This is from Disbussing Films, not like I was like, this has to be a fake tweet.
I was tweeting, like trying to live tweet some. I was watching like a live a booted stream of the Comic-Con. And I was going through Twitter and trying to like live tweet it from the ReelTok account. And like that one, just like I had to double take and check like 5 or 6 different places to see if this is legit.
Someone sent me the post from Marvel Studios and I like clicked on the Marvel Studios Instagram page to like make sure they actually had 39 million followers. And like, this was the official page. I did it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. I was shocked by this. Like this is hey, good for them. They got people talking about them. They put themselves at the very front of pop culture right now. That's the ultimate like goal. But like, I don't know.
Last thing before I leave, there were people in our Discord discussing this, and someone sent this. I want to see if y'all think he's cooking or not. Time to bring the Russo brothers that brought in blah blah blah. Yeah, if you're not mad at Wolverine being a variant in the MCU with Deadpool and Wolverine, I don't think you can be upset with RDJ being a variant in the MCU in Doomsday. Both had amazing send-offs, and both of their stories still matter, but we get to explore it in live-action movies instead of comics with our favorite people playing them.
Wildly different. Playing a different character.
I think it's wildly different, too.
I think it's wildly different because playing Wolverine and doing this kind of...
Yeah, it's different than being the new villain.
Completely.
Right.
See, I don't know. It's probably going to be a Iron Man variant, but they said Victor Von Doom, so that implies that it's actually Dr. Doom. It's probably going to be an Iron Man variant on a different universe that goes by Victor Von Doom or something. Yeah. And then maybe like the real Doom kills him or something. I don't know.
I think it's just there's a few differences. The MCU is way more of a succinct and connected storyline than the Fox universe was. There was a lot of, I mean, they had multiple people playing Magneto, multiple people playing whatever. So the storyline and the fact that Iron Man was such a integral part of that, that's just different. The fact that the Wolverine thing jumped from Fox to the MCU, that's a reason to do it. And this isn't studios changing. This is still the same exact studio, same exact storyline. And also Wolverine, Hugh played Wolverine and then is playing Wolverine, like y'all just said. Like Robert Downey Jr. is playing Iron Man and now coming back as like one of the biggest villains of all time. I think all 3 of those
probably their biggest villain ever.
This is like they need this to hit. Like they need this to hit, and their answer is just recast Robert Downey. It also comes to the question of like, how many people do you think they talked to that said no? Like said, your franchise is cooked. I'm not getting in on this thing, which is whack because they can throw a $75 million bag at you. And if you're able to say no to that, like good for you.
Yeah, crazy.
I genuinely think Robert Downey's getting three-figured millions. Like I think he's in the hundred.
Yeah, no, it's got to be crazy.
Nah, they went back to old reliable. What
they really did. They really said run it back. They said you could not live with your own failure.
It's so funny how like every line that Thanos said is so like applicable to the MCU.
You either die the hero or live long enough to become the villain.
He did die the hero though.
Yeah,
why is he living long enough?
He's like he died. Stop. Like let him rest. Let him rest.
Let him rest.
My thing is though, like I mean, to be fair, like this has to be Doctor Doom. I mean, before the whole Thanos, like Thanos is a whole pop culture thing. Like he is so relevant. He's one of the most iconic villains of all time now. Before that, you probably would have said Doctor Doom comic wise, or like an MCU or Green Goblin or something like that is their most iconic villain.
Yeah.
And so Doom has to be minimum Thanos level event, like kind of thing. So like I get it. You need a banger. You go to Mr. Banger himself, who's delivered constantly for your franchise. But at the same time, hold on, boys, we just got a tweet.
No.
From Good Morning America. They want to use my video.
Oh, AO, which one?
Did you get that too? What video? Please.
I thought you were going to give us some news.
This has to be the Doctor Doom thing because if it's not, my rant about Deadpool, I'm cooked. I don't need.
Were you going crazy on? Were you going crazy? I didn't see your Doctor Doom video. Did you?
All right, guys, I gotta head out.
Andrew, thank you for joining.
Andrew, thank you for joining.
Thanks
for having me here, man.
I appreciate
you like in 5 minutes, Andrew.
Yeah, I'll see you when you walk downstairs. Thanks for having me, guys. That was fun.
Yeah,
see you.
Thanks. But
yeah, you go viral for a Doctor Doom reaction, Alex.
I guess. Hold on. Let me respond to that. I can't believe I'm halting this beautiful podcast. Hi there. Working on a story for excitement. Wondering if we could feature your video on our broadcast tomorrow. Of course. I'm responding immediately. Yes.
Which video though?
It's my Doctor Doom one. Yes. Okay. Feel free.
I got 69,000 views. So like, I mean,
yes.
I'll gas you up. That's light work for Alex.
Yes.
Coleman
Feel free to use my video.
Hey, Good Morning America. I'm available too. I came out of retirement for it. Feel free.
Just
did you get DM'd on Twitter? All I have on DMing is a porn star asking me to send nudes. It's awesome. Great thing to look at. Yeah, I don't know. Dr. Doom, RDJ, I'm excited because it's Robert Downey, but also I'm not excited because of everything else. I am not going to yell and scream and kick my feet like it appears my good friend George Carmi is doing on Twitter right now.
Listen, he lived up to the hype though.
He lived up to the hype of he was going to be very mad.
Because obviously right now, the reason he's not on this, he's in Italy and Monaco and traveling or south of France for vacation. So like his time's inside. I'm like, I know he's sleeping for sure right now. So we were all like, when he wakes up, he's gonna go crazy. And then obviously I went to bed, woke up to, I don't know, 12 tweets from him, which is like, he lived up to what I wanted and more. It was just beautiful work from George. Just always delivering top tier performances. All time Twitter night, like you said. I love the joke. Like there's so many good jokes. I saw one that was like, Kevin Feige told the casting director to go get the Oscar-winning actor from Oppenheimer to be Dr. Doom and Cillian Murphy. They grabbed RDJ and he's like, fuck.
Tyler, my favorite joke is it's the Aaron Rodgers coming out for the New York Jets and they go Kang in the multiverse or MCU or whatever. It's so funny that
there were so many like Jonathan Majors is kicking and screaming and throwing up right now.
It's the biggest fumble. It's the biggest fumble of all time. It's so funny that I don't know whatever he did, right? We don't have to say it on the thing, but it's condemnable. I literally like he would have been such a big movie star. It's crazy the hype he had after Creed 3, Quantumania. He was treated like a big movie star, and he just because he's a bad person, he just
threw it all away. Like literally just threw it all away.
It's upsetting.
I had some crazy tweets I had to take down. I think because it came out like right after Creed 3. is when all this news came out. And I think like during Creed 3, I was tweeting like, this guy's my favorite actor of all time.
Yeah.
The next morning.
You said that?
Yeah. The next morning, I'm like, oh, shit. Like, never mind.
And we recorded a Patreon exclusive review of The Last Black Man in San Francisco, which stars Jonathan Majors. So we recorded on like a Sunday, but it uploads on a Friday. And in between recording and the upload, like all the news came out. So we were like praising him in that episode. We had to be like, guys, we recorded this before we knew he was an asshole.
Yeah.
But good stuff. All-time Twitter night. Absolutely. Like, it would have been so funny because DC obviously had stuff at San Diego Comic-Con, but it was like, minor stuff. Like, I'm sure people are excited about it, but it's nothing crazy. But it would have been hilarious if they would have like James Gunn. That just seemed like such a Kevin Feige movie. Be like James Gunn has his first big presentation at San Diego Comic-Con and reveals some stuff, and then James Gunn just says "fuck you" and takes all, or Kevin Feige says "fuck you" and takes all the hype and excitement. But DC didn't really have much heat for Comic-Con, so it didn't really matter anyways.
I think this is a prime time for DC. I think they're watching Marvel kind of crash and burn through the.
I think low-key are like they
have
a chance
and it's not even on the weight of other
things.
things. It's not even on the weight of other factors. I feel it's on the weight of themselves because they set the bar so high, and they really didn't know what to do after. You have such a 1 in a million shot at the dark, and it works. Like think about all the factors, when it comes to casting, no actors having bad issues, scheduling. The Infinity Saga is a marvel, and it makes no sense that it worked. So I feel bad in a sense, but
I mean, DC has an opportunity to do,
and I think
massive things right now.
And with James Gunn at the helm, I think he's doing a different route than what the MCU did when they started out. They're doing a bunch of different characters. I think this is the prime time, especially when DC has been the kings and queens of doing different multiverses and not having them connected, and it's perfect. They have their main line, they'll have the Batmans, the Jokers, whatever, and there is a throne for the taking. It's like Game of Thrones. You better grab it, or like I don't know what they're gonna do
this is a washed play from Marvel. This is a washed play, which is crazy because like you're doing such massive numbers with Deadpool and Wolverine. Like you're not actually washed, Marvel. Use your fucking head.
You want to know if they listen to people like us?
They might,
because they listen to Tyler's of the world that ran about this stuff, and I'm a part of the Tyler crew now.
I was gonna say this is how disconnected from comic book movies I am. Is when I first read the news that Robert Downey Jr. was cast as Victor Van Doom, I literally thought I didn't even think about variants, multiverse, nothing. I literally just thought, wow, Marvel's really just like reusing an actor they already used. Like I didn't even think about how that makes no sense. Like he already played Iron Man, that would have to be a multiversal variant. I was just like, damn, they're really just going back to Robert Downey Jr. to play a new character now that he's out of that.
Run that shit back.
I literally thought that. I was like, but I don't know. The audiences would still.
I would respect it more, like you said, Alex, if that's what they did, and just completely ignore the multiverse. I saw a tweet. One really great one, just real quick, was it was a video of like a person exploding a building or blowing up a building. And it was like in 2026 when I hear I hate you 3000. It's just like a person blowing up a building. That made me laugh, man. That was so funny.
I have a question. What was your guys' game that you guys had set? And is it possible to play it? Is it possible to play right now? Because I
was actually hoping it would be you versus each other. Because I have a family feud set up, so it's going to be Team Escape Pod versus Team Cole Cam, so Cam and Alex. But I've switched it now, so it can be Alex versus Cam.
Real quick, also good footage of Fantastic Four, and then some other things that come.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Oh, I did see,
but like Marvel just overshadowed the fuck out of themselves. They had a lot of cool announcements.
It just shows two things. They also showed the Galactus. I have an image of that. That's all on the timeline.
Yep, they showed Galactus like peering through the window. Not going to show it because I have seen it getting like taken down from Twitter.
Yeah, I won't. Yeah, we don't.
But I'm excited. I'm really excited for that movie. So it's like crazy that like they. And I'm not nodding. I'm stupid. I'm really dumb. I'm eating up the slop. I'm excited for the Avengers, but like I'm way more excited for Fantastic Four. I just do those characters right. Also, I think it's worth noting. Sorry, you've had Endgame came out in 2019. You get the first Iron Man in 2008. So you have 11 years in between. You have all this buildup. We're getting the 6th Avengers movie. So not even the next one in 2027. So say that's the next Endgame event is Secret Wars. You would think it's technically like, okay, that's 8 years after. That's still a decent amount of time. But everything leading up to now has kind of been Kang. So it's really 3 years, like not really, but it feels like it's really just 3 years before the next like major event because everything's been leading up to Kang. So like that just irks me a little. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you're gonna reset.
I'm out on the MCU, like I said, but I trust Kevin Feige. 4 people who are fans of the MCU to get it on track. But I think you got to understand, Kevin Feige made one of the biggest missteps he made in his whole career with going all in on TV. That was a huge failure.
Yep.
I have faith in him to resurrect and correct the path, but there's a lot of like, not just that they're going to have to switch from Kang into this. I think there's a lot of downfall that's still going to be seen to come. I can't remember who I was talking about it with. Maybe I was talking about it with you when we were talking about Moon Knight last night with like Ironheart. All these TV shows, I think, are just going to fade into. They're just going to be like, shh, don't talk about it, and we're just going to forget they exist.
Yep.
I think it's
Ironheart not going to be.
My thing is with the TV, it's not even like they attempted TV. They attempted mini movies that couldn't make the budget to be in the cinema or whatever, or not have the interest that people thought of that they wanted, and they decided to make 6-episode. Messy, didn't have proper ending shows, and it's like if they went full in on like for example, we've gotten good Marvel television. Daredevil exists, you know what I mean? So it's like they just they didn't. I feel like they half-assed it, they half-baked it. They never.
I will say, like Kevin Feige, like has been in this role for a long time. Like he was a producer on all the X-Men and everything. Like this is now he's like the mastermind behind it, but he's been a producer of like all of this for a while. I think he's a producer on the Daredevil TV show. Just because he's like a producer of everything.
He produced the Raimi movies, yeah.
Great cast.
So like he knows some TV. Like he obviously knows Daredevil's good. He has a big thing. Like he had a big like Sony leak. I think it was him of the Spider-Man of TASM 2, like basically ripping it apart before the movie released, and then he like basically aligned with everything the general audience ripped it apart for. I believe that was him. So like he knows what he's talking about. I think they tried to make mini movies and add filler, and it didn't work for TV shows. You're not wrong.
I just sold my soul to the Good Morning America. So yeah, you can take the video. I don't care.
Hell yeah, I love it. Tell them to give you millions. I'm excited for this though. Now I'm done. Vought Rising. The boys are back. Hell yeah.
This is great. This is lovely. I'm so hyped. I actually, because as the people know, Trivia 10, I was rigged. I was robbed. They stole everything from me, and I'm here to take it back.
That was today, Carmi.
They took it from me. Season 3 will get you back. Both of you kind of had rough showings in season 2.
I made it to playoffs. I'm getting better and better each year. I made it to the playoffs.
Nothing can prepare me.
You both will be back in season 3. So this was going to be 2v2. So a little more team based on the Family Feud, but now it's just going to be head to head. So, basically, we're gonna have 3 rounds, like a Family Feud episode, 3 rounds of a survey that I posted on Twitter and got 1,000 respondents. And then I kind of compiled all the answers to get what the top answers are. So none of these are gonna be like objective answers. These are all like subjective opinions. There's gonna be 3 rounds of this, and whoever does the best was gonna go into Fast Money, which is the game where I guess not just for you, anyone listening, Fast Money. We played it on ReelTok before, so there's 5 questions you answer quickly. Answer all 5 of them, try and get your points between you and someone else to add up to 200. And again, like it was going to be the winning teams. So it was going to be Alex and Andrew from the Skate Pod or Cam and Alex going at it on this. But I think we'll just have you 2 team up for that and have some fun because I spent some time prepping this and we are going to use it, damn it.
Appreciate it.
But let's go through it. So like Family Feud, I'm going to reveal the question. And then once I finish reading the question, you can buzz in to go first. But like I said, there's no like right or wrong answers with these. So like, but if you get the top answer right, whoever gets the top answer, the higher point answer between this face-off, then gets to go through them, and you get up to 3 X's. And if you get 3 X's, then the other person can get the opportunity to steal and take all of those points. It'll become apparent as it goes, whether it's for you 2 playing or for the viewer watching if they're not familiar with the game. But you have to wait till I'm done reading the question before you can say anything, and just say like buzz or ding or whatever to claim that you want to answer first and try and get that number 1 score. You'll both get the opportunity to answer it, of course. But once you buzz in and ding, you have, and I say like your name, you have like 5 seconds. Otherwise, I'm going to buzz you out and someone else has got to go. So
I'm nervous. Ooh,
I'm excited.
It should be fun, hopefully. But thank you to everyone on social media for answering these polls, because I asked 8 questions and it was not just multiple choices, like fill in the blanks. And,
so this isn't like in Family Feud when we have turns when they do these like things like, oh, like what's the most popular dog? So it's like we have to like buzz in immediately so I can answer before Cam, so I can get the top.
But that's like
how it always starts in Family Feud.
Oh wait, no, I'm a dumb.
And then once whoever gets the higher point then gets the chance to go one by one and pick them up.
I haven't seen Steve Harvey in a minute. That's on me.
I haven't seen it in ages either. I don't blame you.
I like Family Feud.
Question number 1: What is the most underrated movie in the MCU?
Eternals. Big Buzz. Eternals.
Okay, Buzz, Cam. Eternals.
Do I answer? Do I answer now?
No. So Cam, that's the second highest
so
answer.
you have to get number one. Alex.
So now,
Otherwise,
Alex, you get a chance to get the number one.
Most underrated? Who that? I'm gonna
I
go.
didn't like that. That's awesome. I didn't look at these. Like I didn't look at the.
I don't know. Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron is on there, but it's not going to be number one. So that is hold on, 1, 2. All right, Age of Ultron comes in at number 4. So Cam, it's to you. You get 3 X's. So Alex had to sit back, but you stay tuned because you have an opportunity to steal if Cam can't get them all.
I
Okay.
like this. This
Okay,
is
I
fun
like
because
this. I
I
like
don't.
this.
It's like, what does the general population think?
That's
is
why I
the
said,
most
like,
underrated movie in the MCU.
Mhm.
I'm
very
gonna.
subjective. Every question is super subjective.
I don't think anyone's gonna say Captain Marvel. Let's go with.
I don't even know. I'm trying to think. Let me look at the MCU movies.
Let's go with the Captain America, the First Avenger.
Oh, that's a great pick.
The first Avenger is a great pick, but that is going to be your first X
Ooh.
today.
Oh,
The first X, you
Ooh.
get 3 X's.
awful.
That is not
Shit.
on the most
I'm gonna
underrated
look up
movies.
I had my like rankings pulled up, so I'm just gonna look real
Mhm.
quick. Let's go with Ant-Man, the original Ant-Man. I feel like people like that.
Yeah,
that's good.
people do like that, and it is not one of the most
God,
underrated.
fuck
second
you.
X today.
This is crazy.
Alex is licking his chops, so I get a chance to steal some big points
No.
early. But
Oh,
Cam,
no.
I think I got
One
some.
of the Iron Man. People don't like Iron Man 3 as much. I don't like Iron Man 3, but I think people like it a lot. So I'm just gonna go with Iron Man 3.
That's our number one answer.
Hey!
Man,
Come on.
I'm so
to-
mad because I had that. That's like one of my most. I agree with that take. 110%.
I don't like Iron
Up
Man
to
3.
69 points for
okay.
this round. You have 3 and 5 still left available, but you have 1 X left. 1 X.
I think I don't think it's good again. But maybe people like it because it's the first. Well, actually, let's go with the Incredible Hulk. That's not what I was going for.
That was gonna be mine. Oh my god, I hate you.
And that's going to be your 3rd X.
Oh, I'm saved. Oh my god.
Shit.
So 69 points goes to
So
Cam.
Alex just
Unless
has to get-
Alex, you have 1 opportunity to steal here, so take some time to think. If you get either 3 or 5, either one of those, any left on the board right, you're going to steal those points all from Cam.
Okay.
So
okay.
what's the most underrated MCU movie?
So my none of my top 10 will be on this list. It's basically all the popular ones. I'm looking at my rankings right now. I mean, the options I'm thinking of, like one of the Spider-Mans, maybe Far From Home. I feel like some people hate on it, so like maybe that. Multiverse of Madness could definitely be here. The first Thor, but I don't know. I'm thinking I'm gonna go. I want to say Far From Home, or I want to say Multiverse of Madness. I'm gonna go because it's Spider-Man. I feel like people hate on it. I'm gonna go Far From Home.
That is not going to be on the board today. So Cam, you keep the 69 points. So now we'll reveal what the final 2 questions
What were
the
they?
answers were. Number 3, Shang-Chi.
Oh, okay.
Then
okay,
in classic
yeah.
Family Feud fashion, the crowd has to go,
Yeah, we
Shang-Chi,
definitely got that.
19 points. And number 5, the 5th most common answer, Doctor Strange, not Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange, period. Shout out Scott
Mid-movie.
Derrickson.
Low key bad. No. Shang-Chi though, properly rated. Good movie. I don't know why we.
Yeah, I don't really feel. I mean, I think it's a good MCU movie, but I don't really think a lot of people hate on it. So I don't know if I'd call it super.
I
underrated,
was going
personally.
to go with the one I was thinking of originally was Thor. I was going to go with Thor, but I'm glad.
No.
Well, either way, I got it wrong. With
I'm
the
surprised
Incredible
Incredible
Hulk.
Hulk's not there. That movie's like the
It's
underrated
not
king.
good. It's not
And
good.
and if you're listening to this and you're like, hey, I answered Thor or whatever, it's yeah, I got like a 1,000 responses, and if there's only like 2 out of 1,000 had one movie, it's like it's just not included. So there's a bunch that would fall
No,
into
that's fair.
yeah, all the other ones. These are ones that had like a good amount of people.
Mhm.
But so Cam's in the lead round 1 at 69. Going on to question number 2 now. Alex needs to pick up some points here, but remember, wait till I'm done, and you have to ding first for your answer. Wait till I'm done reading question. Who is the funniest actor to ever star in the MCU?
Ding.
Ding. Oh.
Cam, who's your first guess?
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd is the number 1 answer today, which surprised me. I did not
I'm not
expect
shocked by
people
that.
to ride him that hard, but
Paul
I
Rudd's
love
funny.
Paul Rudd.
Yeah, I'm
I just
shocked.
didn't think that's just not the
I-
first that comes to my mind when I think of it, but that
I
is the
wouldn't have
number
said
1
that.
answer. So Cam,
Okay.
to be honest, Alex, I kind of like this position where you're in better. I like because these are hard. These are subjective.
These are
I kind of
tough.
like
These are
the.
tough.
I kind of like the stealing strategy. But Cam,
Next, I already know who I'm going with second, just for a popularity pick. I think Robert Downey is going to be on here. Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey is on there at number 4 for 10 points.
Let's go with who's got funny movies, right? So let's go with Chris Hemsworth, maybe.
Chris Hemsworth is in there at 6 for 6 points.
Okay.
No X's so far. Doing well.
Now it's getting tough.
I'm so dialed, actually. Like, I'm so dialed.
Do you know it? Do you know it?
I have
Like,
I'm so dialed right now. I actually know it. Like, I'm
comedians in the MCU. Who's funny in the MCU? Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt,
of course, is on there at number 2.
Okay.
You have 3 and 5 left, and you have all 3 X's to spare. This is where it gets tricky, though. 2 left.
I don't think like Ryan Reynolds would already be on here. And Alex, if you steal that, I'm going to be mad. But I'm not going to go with Ryan Reynolds yet. I'll go with Drax. Give me Dave Bautista.
That's a great pick.
That's a great pick.
That's why I was really hoping you forgot about Dave Bautista because he's not like the main guy in any of these movies. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna steal that and get that easily.
This is a great question for me being checked out of the MCU because I'm like, really? I did not think people would think.
Well, now
I think Dave Bautista's players. Seth loves Drax, but I didn't think that's like
Drax.
When you read a question, if it's on the top of your mind, to think like Dave.
This last one though, I have no clue. Like these are the ones that I knew. The rest, like it's, dude, I don't know.
What's crazy is it wasn't even last place. It's above Chris Hemsworth. But Cam, you have 3 X's to spare here.
Let me look at all the actors and actresses.
I'm trying to think of other comedians in the MCU. Again, I'm not going to use Ryan Reynolds. I'm not going to go to him. So I'm just really worried that's going to be number 5. I'll go with Don Cheadle. He's pretty funny in these movies.
It's going to be your first X today.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I got it's 3 strikes and you're out, right? I'm just going to look through like that. Let's go with We'll go with Tom Holland because Spider-Man's supposed to be funny. I don't think he's all that funny in the MCU, but he's supposed to be.
Second X today. Second X.
Damn.
This is hard, bro.
This is awful. Paul Rudd is. Who does he star opposing? No. Oh. This is brutal, man. Maybe. Oh, who's funny in the MCU? Funniest actor in the MCU. Let's go with Tom Hiddleston's Loki. He's pretty funny. He's got a couple lines. I really don't know number 5.
It's gonna be your third X today, Alex, with the chance to steal.
No, I knew it.
So my thought process is immediately Anthony Mackie's like Sam Wilson, but like I'm not picking that yet.
I'm worried. I won't say it.
Maybe Doctor Strange because of his deadpan dry humor.
Shit.
Maybe even. Oh, this is tough. This is really tough. Dang. Because there's no way they'd put Ryan Reynolds. He's like he just joined, right? Because like I feel like this might be a trick answer. But I'm gonna go. Cam, you're gonna get the points again because I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Oh God. You know what? Anthony Mackie's a funny guy in real life. I think they may be giving it. I will go Anthony Mackie.
I think it's your second. I think it's who you were thinking.
It is not Anthony Mackie.
Who was it?
Bang, bang, bang.
Who is it?
Cam, who did you think it was?
I think it's Doctor Strange now that now that Alex said it.
Nope, it was Ryan Reynolds.
No, fuck you.
That's so bullshit. That's so
bullshit,
BS,
man.
Oh my God, I should have just said that because like.
Damn it, I should have. Yeah, same. I should have said it.
Well, I
thought you would have in the bag because we had that draft last night of MCU actors, and you like made the comment of like, well, I don't think this, but like seeing it on a graphic, I could see how someone would think it. So it's like voting for this, like people probably just think in their minds that are answering a survey Deadpool and Deadpool 2 are MCU.
Yeah,
so.
You're
but
right.
He is. I would have thrown out those votes if Deadpool and Wolverine didn't happen because he's just straight up wrong. But he is in the MCU now, so I allowed the votes to be valid.
That's fine.
Going on to question number 3 now. So wait till I finish reading the question.
Mm-hmm.
What is the most forgettable MCU movie?
Ding.
Yeah.
Alex Coleman, what's your pick?
I'm going to go with Ant-Man and Quantumania.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania is what you pick? That's unfortunately wrong.
Wow. I'm going to go with Eternals. Has been forgotten.
Eternals is number 1. At
sorry.
At
I thought you were going to say Eternals.
I was going to say.
You're getting cooked. Let's go with Captain Marvel next. People are
Captain Marvel is in 6 at 8 points.
People remember it. I
guess
came
right before Endgame, I guess.
Let's go with the first Ant-Man.
That's gonna be your first X today.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
That is correct.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
I was
lost
gonna
the
say, I
13.
think they're so forgettable. People forgot to put them on here.
That
I
was the
feel
one
like
right
all the forgettable
before.
ones I've already
that-
forgotten
yeah.
about, so I'm not gonna remember to say them.
I guess it makes sense. The number 5 and 6 are two that occurred between Infinity War and Endgame. So I guess most people just memory hold those.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's go with. I'm looking at TV shows. Let's go with Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi's probably
Give me your
forgotten.
second X today. Just give me a second.
Damn it.
That was on for most underrated. So people aren't forgetting that movie.
Let's go.
People
Incredible
don't know.
Hulk. Incredible Hulk hurt me earlier. It's got to be on there, right?
It's not on there. which is
No
crazy.
way.
I think everyone forgets that's an MCU.
No.
I think the Incredible Hulk is so forgettable that people forgot to answer that question. on
probably.
there. So Alex, you have 3 left for the taking here to steal these points. What are you thinking?
Please be this. It has to. Oh, wait. I'm thinking either between Black Widow or Thor: The Dark
Shit.
World. But Dark World is so bad that it's memorable. I'm gonna go Black Widow.
That's your second answer today. Second answer.
job,
So
good
you,
job.
you get
Good
you get the
pick.
points on the final one. Ended strong.
I
but
forgot about Black Widow.
It didn't
All
matter
good.
who won anyways, because you both are going to be working together on the fast money. But Cam still
Right.
won because he won the first 2 rounds. But Alex, you were between Black Widow and the Dark World. Wouldn't have mattered. Dark World right there with only 1 point less than number 3. And then number 4, most forgettable, The Marvels. The Marvels.
Fuck. That movie just came out.
That's so bad.
Pretty
Oh,
valid though. So
That's brutal.
good work. That was fun. We're going on to the fast money round. So how fast money works is you're going to get 5 questions answered, and you have to give me the top answers here.
Who's first?
We'll give Alex first. So Cam, take off your headphones. I'll give you a thumbs up when to come back
Text me,
on.
I'll go away.
Yep. I'll remove him from the stage. So Alex, how it works is I'm going to ask you 5 questions. You got to answer quickly. Your top answer for each one. And we'll see how you do and see how many points you get. You
All
and
right.
Cam combined have to get 200 points. So you have to start off strong here because he can't repeat answers that you use. So starting the clock. We're not going to, it's supposed to be in 30 seconds, but I'm not pulling up a stopwatch. I just don't care. But here we go. Question 1, starting now. Which MCU character would you hire to be your personal bodyguard?
Thor.
And plus, because I have to write down your answers, so I'm not going to time it.
Yeah.
Thor. Which MCU hero has the coolest suits in the movies?
Iron Man.
Iron Man. Which MCU villain are you most empathetic towards?
Loki.
When you think of the MCU, which character do you think of first?
Iron Man.
And last question, who is the best actor to ever star in an MCU movie?
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr., RDJ. Those are your answers. So you answered for bodyguard for question number 1, you answered Thor. That is the second most popular answer at 29 points.
Okay.
For best suits in the MCU, you answered Iron Man, which is the best pick, the best answer at 66 points. It's a huge pull early. Most empathetic villain, you picked Loki. That is also the number 1 answer at 40 points. The first character you think of when you think of the MCU is Iron Man. Far and away the number 1 answer, 76 points. And the best actor to ever star in the MCU, you said Robert Downey Jr. That is the second highest answer at 32. So you're at 243. We'll say 300 to make it interesting because 200 is what you have to get in Family Feud. You crushed that because suits and both Iron Man, that's his best suits, and what you think of first are so overwhelmingly the top picks. So we're going to switch the goalposts and say 300 is what he needs. So he needs 56 points or 57 points to win here. So a great round by Alex Coleman. Clap it up for Alex. Great work.
We made up for the first 2 terrible rounds of Family Feud against Cam.
Yep. So he needs 57 points here, which sounds like very low, but since you got those such big ticket items, he's got to do some strong stuff.
Cam
here.
better lock in. I'll be pissed if he doesn't get this.
Yep.
I'm back.
All
Where
right.
are we at?
So he got 243. So we're gonna do 300 because a couple of answers are like so obviously number 1 that they have just such a big value.
Okay. Crazy.
So we're gonna get to 3. So you have to get 50.
Good work, Alex. Good work.
Yeah. Alex crushed. He absolutely killed it. But here we go. Your turn. I'm not timing it because I have to write down your answers and it doesn't matter. But Alex probably got under 30 seconds anyways. So fast money round 2 starting now. Cam, which MCU character would you hire to be your personal bodyguard?
Thor. Hulk.
Which MCU hero has the coolest suit in the movies?
I mean, Iron Man, I assume.
Yeah, he took that.
Yeah. Thor.
Which MCU villain are you the most empathetic towards?
I assume Thanos.
Nope.
MCU. Sorry. We'll go Loki.
Nope. That's what he took.
Thanos. Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying he took
No, I was saying no, he didn't take it. When you think of the MCU, which character do you think of first?
Iron Man.
Yeah, that's what he took.
Captain America.
All right, and then final one. Who is the best actor to ever star in an MCU movie?
Jeremy Renner. It's not going to be chosen, but he is. You cowards.
Jeremy Renner. Okay, I love it. So
it's probably Jake Gyllenhaal, actually, now that I think about it, but it's fine.
You needed 57 points. Your answer for which MCU character would you hire to be your personal bodyguard? You picked the number one answer in Hulk. He picked Thor. Hulk's kind of a crazy pick because he'd have to be enraged the whole time to be worth a damn. If he's
yeah, you got to assume he's going to be mad. I would assume.
Yeah,
I picked Hulk, not Bruce Banner, to be fair.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So you're at 276 total between the two of you. Best suits in the MCU, you selected Thor. Thor is the number 5 answer for 3 points. So we're up to 279 now. Going to need some work here. Most empathetic villain, you said Thanos. Loki was the number 1 answer, which Alex picked. But Thanos, you picked 18. So you got 297 now. You just need 3 points in the final 2 answers. Killmonger was the second most popular answer for most empathetic villain in the MCU. And for suits, the second most popular answer was Black Panther, by the way. And the character you think of first when you think of MCU, you said Captain America. That is the number 2 choice. Iron Man obviously be number 1. So that was 17. So you're at 314. You easily won, which is good because Jeremy Renner got a big fat 0.
Yeah, makes sense. Was ScarJo on there? ScarJo probably should have been in there.
So it was Christian Bale was number 1 at 38.
Wow, forgot he was there.
I wouldn't even have
forgot. Yeah, would have not have thought of him.
Robert Downey Jr. was number 2 at 32. Anthony Hopkins at 3 with 21.
He was there.
Scarlett Johansson was 4 at 9 points.
Yeah. My 2 in my head were Robert Downey because he's the most popular, and then Anthony Hopkins. I would have forgot about Christian Bale.
I forgot completely.
But Thor: Love and Thunder, another forgettable movie.
Michael B. Jordan. I think Michael B. Jordan might be up there. He's great.
Great actor.
Damn.
Yeah.
What a fun episode.
Good work though. Good work. You both crushed it. That was fun.
Yeah. Good fun. A little trivia. Tyler, thank you for joining as always. Alex, thank you for attending. Shout out the Escape Pod. I know they had to hop off. Happy birthday to Alex. Didn't know it was his birthday, so I appreciate him taking any time out of his day. Happy birthday to him. I believe he finally turns 19. So congrats to him. I don't actually know.
Is that real?
I don't actually know how old he is, to be quite honest. He might be older than me for all I know. But yeah, happy birthday to him. Thank you, Andrew, for joining. Go follow the Escape Pod. Go watch their episodes. Escape Pod listeners, if you're new here and you're just joining for them, maybe check some of our episodes out. We really appreciate them coming on. If you're a big fan of Deadpool and Wolverine, hope you enjoyed this episode. Enjoy your time in LA, Alex. I think you have a couple more days there. Tyler, enjoy the sunny side of Arizona. I'm going to go enjoy my vacation. Make sure to subscribe to YouTube, follow the Apple, Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, and all of that. Leave a comment on YouTube, like, subscribe, all of that.
Keep cooking.
Have a wonderful week and join the Patreon.
Woo!